Hello and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And just seeing the reflection of my empty display behind me is very depressing. So thankfully, I've got a brand new episode of Joes+Juice to cheer me up, as there is lots of Joe news to talk about. And it's a pretty good week to talk about Joe's as well, considering we all had a massive parcel arrive at our door. So thank you for joining us this evening, this Friday night, for the last Joes+Juice of 2023. We are going to be recapping, of course, all the relevant news, but of course we're going to find out my co-hosts' top 10 G.I Joe classified figures of 2023. And who are those co-hosts, I hear you say? Well, they are the people on the front line. I am just a man in the chair with no figures, apparently. Let me introduce to you, of course, Mini Plastic Movies, Tom and Mark. Tap tap. Mark, how are you doing, gentlemen? Tom, you good?
I'm good, reporting for duty.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. What about you, Mark?
I'm good, Dan. Yo, Joe.
Joe. We're British. We should be like full force or
That's
whatever they
full
do.
force.
Yeah. Right, lots of stuff to talk about. As I said, it's been a while since we've done a stream. No fault of your own, of course. As I said, just YouTube's a crazy place. But it's a great week to come back and talk some Joes, as we have had the Hiss Tank arrive at our doors. So before I do the housekeeping and say hello to the chat, let's just quickly discuss the Hiss Tank, all right? So I've already got an unboxing video up on my channel, so please don't be shy, everybody. Go and check that out. Because it's so big and awkward, I couldn't really do a traditional review, so it's just me sitting in front of my upstairs display. This thing is massive. Tom will show you here. Tom, talk about it. What are your first impressions after getting it in hand?
It's bloody amazing, isn't it? It's really nice. Like the detail on the modern canopy, all the little guns, the tracks. I'd kind of forgotten that the tracks were actually going to move, and they do move incredibly nicely. So yeah, just great. All the different options you've got for weapons and whatnot. Back catch, I don't know if I can do this.
Have you got room in the display? Like, I know you always think ahead of
I have got room just about on this one.
Okay. Is this going on
the Dragonfly, not so much, but we'll come to that probably.
Is this going in the cupboards display?
This is going in the cupboard.
Okay.
The only problem I always have with vehicles is I put them in the cupboard and I'm like, shit, I could get loads of figures in there. And then it's when the figures start mounting up that the vehicle sometimes loses its space. So we'll see.
No, that's a display piece. This can't be sat in a box. You can display figures on it, around it, hanging off it, driving it. We've seen this at MCM, but it was still quite imposing when we actually got it out of the box at home. So yeah, I am very, very impressed. Glad for it to be here. And Mr. Mark Tac, you have just started opening yours, right? So you're yet to feel the overwhelmingness that is the Hiss Tank yet.
That's right, Dan. Yeah. So I've worked my way through the outer boxes. I want to do a video myself, like yourself and Jay. Check out Dan and Jay's videos, by the way, on the Hiss Tank. But it's like overwhelming. I don't even know where to start in terms of doing a video. So hats off to you being able to do it, because yeah, I just don't even know. But it's a good problem to have, you know, good problem to be overwhelmed by
those
massive
Billy bookcases behind you.
They are, and they'll be going somewhere on there.
So that means those shelves will just come off. So like, you can adjust the shelf height so you could put the Hiss Tank on there.
Well, that would have been good thinking, Dan. Unfortunately, I glued them in when I built this thing.
What
so,
did you glue?
Yeah.
They're modular on purpose. That's how I've got Galactus in there now. Like, they're just purposely modular. You lunatic gluing stuff.
I know. I live by my own rules.
It doesn't even say that on the instructions. Like, he's like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to glue it as well.
Went wrong.
Yeah, that's the magic of Billy bookcases. You can adjust the heights and stuff like that. So anyway, I digress. Yeah. The Hiss Tank is very, very impressive, undoubtedly. And yeah, roll on 2024 with the bloody Dragonfly, because currently, as I've said in my review, the Joes stand no chance against Cobra in my display right now. That Hiss Tank is an overwhelming advantage to the Cobra armies. We've got the Hiss Tank, we've got Serpentor on his air chariot, we've got Trouble Bubbles, and the Joes are like just all on the back of bloody Ram, the Ram, like just going, get out of here, like. So yeah, we need to hopefully with the Vamp coming next year, and we get some more Joe vehicles, we can start building out that world. I wish I had the space to build like an epic diorama, do you know, like with that like when we're, do you know, like currently old men are in garages building train tracks, right? Because that's their generation. That's what they do. When we get older, and we're old men, we're close though. To be fair, we're nearly there, ain't we? But when we're a little bit older and we retire, we're going to be in our garages building giant G.I Joe dioramas out of our 6-inch figures. So that's the new generation of retirement. So I look forward to it. Pension and G.I Joes is all I need. Right, let's go say hello to the chat then, and then we can recap some news. So I can bounce to this and see who's in the chat. Look at that. Nice and early. Compulsive Collector there. John's going to be joining us later. And I hope John don't mind me saying, but I think he's got a bit of a giveaway for us. He's going to be giving away a G.I Joe classified figure on the stream today. So all you have to do is be here a little bit later, and we'll probably do the proper Dan Who tradition of a duck race or something like that. But as long as you are here at the end of the stream, you will be eligible to win a G.I Joe prize, and Compulsive Collector himself can tell us all about it. But let me read his super chat. Thank you very much. Friday might be working. There she is. She's right on time. Perfect. I'll let Friday read that out.
Compulsive Collector donated $7.88. Yes, please rub all your hiss tanks in my face. Not jealous at all. Loudly crying, only kidding. Happy to live vicariously through you guys. For now,
John, that is the main thing. Thank you very much. He says, yes, please rub all the hiss tanks in my face. Not jealous of cold. Only kidding. Happy to live vicariously through you guys for now. So I'm assuming yours must be on the way or something, John, right? So I know the Americans have started to get them. So hopefully very, very soon. But thank you very much for the super chat. Who else is here? Let me scroll up. People were in nice and early chatting away, so I appreciate you. Of course, we've got Tom and Mark here. We've got the other Mark Rose. We've got RP. We've got Jared. Home Dude, Jay from Jay's Toy Collection UK fame, I've heard of him. Miss Cloud Foxwell, Mr. Displayed Once. We've got Craig from Craig's Nostalgic Collection, you've probably heard of him. Christopher Allen with the snake emojis. Is he a Cobra man? Is he a Cobra or a Joes man? We're going to have to find out a little bit later. Bring Toys to Work was sharing a picture on our Legends and Liquor Facebook, Legends and Liquor Instagram group earlier today of 5 hiss tanks. I don't know how he's going to have the room to display them all, but it was a very impressive picture all the same. So shout out, Bring Toys to Work. Who else? We've got Mike Hex is in there as well. He says, what's up? What's up, Mike Hex? We've got Sean Forrester as well. Cute Cool says, Thunderbirds are go. FAB must feed the... Remember that? Just, there you go. They used to freak me out as a kid. I'm not even joking. I had a teacher in school as well that looked like a Thunderbird because she'd walk around like her arms were being pulled on string. So like, yeah. And I had the old Thunderbird. I even tried to build the Blue Peter Thunderbird Tracy Island back in the day because, but anyway, Thunderbird.
I had Thunderbirds on my mind today because I got Falcon in at last, having put it for months. Don't you think he looks like
he does.
a Thunderbird?
Absolutely. He absolutely looks like one of those Muppet puppet things. Are they a Muppet or a puppet? What's the difference between a Muppet and a puppet? That's a question.
They are. Oh, what are they called?
I don't know. But anyway,
Super Mario Nation. They're called on those Super Marionettes.
Either way, you're absolutely right. Falcon does look like a character from Thunderbirds. Who else we got? We got Eddie Rodriguez is in the chat. Topless Scroob is back. He's going to want everyone to get topless very soon. We got Arvin says, what's up, everybody? Greg Finstad is always here for a duck race. He knows how to win one or two as well. Profit924 is here as well. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for joining us. We are going to talk some G.I Joe. So, as I said, I've done my plug-in already. I will have a video up later today. I'm talking like early hours in the morning, but I'll make sure it happens, of the 3 figures that came. I never had the time to go through them in this video, but I've opened up the driver, the tactician, and the gunner. And do I open the Cobra Commander? Ooh, you'll have to watch that video and find out. But there will be a figure review up of those individually a little bit later on the channel. But today, we are talking, of course, about the G.I Joe live stream that happened on Thursday afternoon. Of course, they started off with some name-only reveals. So we're just going to go into it and start recapping this so we can get into our top 10s of the year. Okay, so stay tuned for our top 10 G.I Joe Classified of 2023. And of course, stick around. We will be bringing guests on at the end if you want to talk some Joes with us before the year is out. All right, we appreciate you. So let's do this. First thing first, they always start off the stream with some name-only reveals. So no digital renders, no pictures. These are just graphics pulled off the internet. But the name-only reveals are Xandar, is that how you say his name? Xandar?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Xandar. We have Leatherneck, and then we have the Nemesis Immortal, and also Starduster. So we got 2 Joes and 2 Cobras, and I know Bring Toys to Work is going to be happy because that Nemesis is like part of the Cobra La 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 La, right? The
that's right.
crew.
Yep.
So name only reveals again. We'll probably see them by this time next year. We will probably have these figures in our collection. Do any of these get you excited? And if you could only pick one, which is the one that gets you the most excited? Tom, we'll go to you.
Which one gets me the most excited? Weirdly, Stardust got me the most excited, but I don't know why, because he's not like top of my list.
Was he the mail away back in the day? So he was like.
I'm not sure what he was. I don't think he was even in. I don't remember him in the animation.
Quite obscure, yeah.
I think one of these, it's either Leatherneck or Starduster. The chat can help us out, but one of them was a mail away in the 80s. So it was never on a card back. It was literally a mail away that would come in a little baggie. So I think that is Starduster. But,
although that picture you got of him that's the card back picture, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like one of those situations where, like, I don't know, Portugal or Brazil had a card back for him.
Okay.
But like US wise, he never had one. But we've got.
If it was like one of these that I could only have one as a figure.
Yes.
As much as I'm excited about Stardust, it would have to be Nemesis Immortal, just because it opens out of that Cobra La 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 kind of grouping, and you can get all those weird and wacky characters to surround Serpentor.
Yeah, we're sort of moving away from the grounded military theme now and getting more into the fantasy element of G.I Joe, which is all part of the brand. Of course it is. Like, they do go a little bit crazy. Like, if you read some of these stories back catalogues and their file cards, some of them have got crazy stories to tell, so they're not scared of going a bit weird. But yeah, the Cobra La 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 are definitely moving more into that sort of fantasy element of G.I Joe, which I'm here for it. They're going to make some great action figures. What about you, Mark, in regards to these name-only reveals? Any get you excited? Which one in particular would you want in your collection?
Well, similarly to Tom, Dan, I quite like Starduster. I hadn't really heard of Starduster before, so quite like the look at him. Looking at that artwork there, I'm guessing it's going to be, some parts are going to be retro Duke, sort of, I'm guessing, use, presumably. But yeah, Starduster looks good, but I think Nemesis Immortal is kind of the one that will be really interesting to see in figure form. Will he have articulated wings? He probably will. Probably be a bit bigger, and like you both say, you know, it opens up the door to more Cobra La 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 figures and characters. So yeah, Nemesis Immortal probably. Don't know why it's called Nemesis Immortal though.
Yeah, maybe I reckon that's a license. We'll look at that in a second. I just wanted to look at Stardust real quick. So I'm just on yojo.com, and it said while it's difficult to pin a specific year and to the specific version of Stardust, this version began shipping in 1988. What a great year, by the way. Who was born then? Stopped shipping at around 1989. So yeah, this is like a mail away or something like that came bagged like this. So, but there is a file card, a card back, like Tom alluded to, and I think it's a foreign one. I'm not too sure. They haven't got the picture on here, but there is one that exists. So I don't think it's mainline, but yeah, he's an obscure, bit of a deep cut, like you said, but he's very teal. Like reminds me of what's it? Gung Ho's got more of a teal vibe.
Yeah.
And does he come with a jetpack?
Yes.
Am I right in thinking he's got a jetpack?
Yes, he does. Yes. Because he's part. This version of Starduster came with the Pocket Patrol Pack. So what's the Pocket Patrol Pack? Oh, okay. It's like the little storage box for your G.I. Joes back in the day. You can attach it to your belt like an ammo pack and take your G.I. Joes with you on adventures.
We need one of those now.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do, in 6-inch scale. But yeah, there you go.
My wife would love it if I went out there with a load of G.I. Joe.
Well, she wouldn't know because you'd pack them before she seen. So she'd be like, "What's that?" You'd be like, "Oh, it's just ammo, just in case." You never know. Dangerous. We live in dangerous times, and she doesn't know. 6-inch figures. So there you go. There's that. I wanted to look at Nemesis Immortal as well before we move on, because this is the one that people think that the name may be different, but there is a version here on Joe.com as well. If I bring him in, because he's got the wings, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, it says Nemesis Immortal. Yeah.
So there is a version of Nemesis Immortal, but there's a different Nemesis as well. Again, I'm learning. I love learning stuff via the medium of classified. I don't claim to be a G.I Joe historian. As I said, I'm too young to be within the trenches of the 80s. But I definitely enjoy going back and doing the research. And yeah, Nemesis Immortal was released with the 5th wave of comic packs in 2008. So it's more of a modern take on the character in figure form here. And I think back in the day it was a different version or a different Nemesis or something or other. So yeah, 2008.
With
I
Falcon.
haven't watched the animated movie for a while. Does he transform or something in the movie, and that's the difference? I can't remember.
Well, he's got a different. It's Nemesis something else, isn't it? What's the other name? Bring Toys to Work will know in the chat. There is only one Nemesis. So what? Nemesis Immortal is the figure name. Nemesis Enforcer is the name in the movie. Okay. There you go. We're making sense. Thank you very much, Prophet. There we go. So I knew there was a bit of a... But there has been a figure branded Nemesis Immortal, and this is it. But the Nemesis that people are familiar with are the one in the film called Nemesis Enforcer, and that's where the confusion is lying. But that's fine. Now we know. We've figured that out together. That's why we appreciate the chat joining in with us. So there is that. So there you go. There's the name only reveals. I'm sure next time, early next year, we'll probably start seeing digital renders of this stuff. And as I said, by this time next year, these figures will probably already be in our grubby mitts. So there you go. Name only reveals. So let's go straight back to the top of the start of the stream. Shout out to His Tank. I'm stealing all the images from there. So that's how they started it. And then Lenny, Emily. I blurred Emily and Lenny's name together then. That was magical. Right, first up, we of course have Mrs. Cloud Foxwell's favourite. It is Big Boa, the one-time nemesis of Rocky, but then Rocky never made it to the line. But we still got Big Boa, and here he is in classified form. Now, we have seen digital renders for this guy before. We knew this guy was coming, but it's always nice to see the packaged shots and see the figure actually made. I love that Joes. They never mentioned this on Joe live streams, but the Joes are now moving into that pinless era. Do you know, like... So recently we've had a few figures that are like half pinless, half not. Like, what was it? Was it Sergeant Slaughter had the pinless arms and the pins on the knees or something like that? Or vice versa?
Helix is pinless on the arms. And
exactly.
Yeah, Shockwave.
So aesthetically, for the pins ain't the be-all end-all for me, but I do think aesthetically I'd rather have it all one way, and of course pinless is the way to go. So it's nice to see that in the classified line now. I think all these figures are pinless. And yeah, Big Boa's looking really good. So let me go to the proper promo images of Big Boa, who's fighting Quick Kick, another one of the reveals. So there he is. First time we're getting the unmasked head. The original figure never had an unmasked head. So this is a G.I Joe classified take on what was under that helmet all those years. And he is a little bit beaten up.
I thought what was interesting about this, well, to me anyway, is the original version of the character was like meant to be the enemy of Sylvester Stallone's kind of character, but he never came into it, and the face looks a bit like Sylvester Stallone.
Maybe that was their thinking. This is clearly Lenny and the team making this up themselves. They designed this. I like how he's got teeth missing at the front, and also the big bruise on the face and the scars and stuff. So again, I know some people are probably just going to keep this in a box and never display it, but if you're going to use Big Boa helmet as your Big Boa, then this is just an extra head to throw on an army trooper. You could put this onto just an infantry trooper and have a beaten up soldier, do you know, like, and in your head canon it's not Big Boa because Big Boa's got that helmet on. So I don't mind. I'm never going to complain at extra accessories. So there's Big Boa. So Tom, you excited for Big Boa? Character you're going to add to the collection?
I'm 100% excited for Big Boa. He was my top pick on our most wanted Joes whenever it was, a year or two ago. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this guy. And he looks phenomenal.
I was going to say, you don't mind the classified, the sort of, do you know, like the classified always modernise it and give it a little twist? You don't mind what they've done here?
They haven't modernised it too much, they have. I kind of like the unmasked head as well. Is it definitely an unmasked head and not just, I mean, obviously it's an unmasked head. Is the helmeted head a head or is it a helmet?
I reckon it's a separate head.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't think they mentioned that specifically. If someone in the chat knows, tell us. but I do think it's a head, an interchangeable head with its own peg.
I think you're right, Dan. It looks, maybe it looks like it would be two different heads.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it will fit over. Just looking at this, all we can do is go based off this picture. Let's see. Can I grab the image separately? Yeah, I can. Let's zoom in.
Have they ever really done a helmet over a full face helmet before?
I don't know.
It feels like a Star Wars type thing, to be honest.
It does, yeah, like clones and stuff. Displayed once. Rich has been on the vodka again. He's just gifted a channel membership. Thank you very much, Rich. Feeling generous.
Thanks, Rich.
He was doing this last night as well for Tea, so I do appreciate the continued love, Rich. This one's gone to Sean Forrester. So, Sean, welcome to the Members Club, my friend, or the channel membership. Please say thank you to Rich if you are lurking in the chat. Thank you very much, Rich. That is massively appreciated. So, yeah, based off this picture, I don't think it's a helmet. I reckon it's a separate head, but I could be wrong. Interchangeable head, says Ryan. Ryan Daly in the chat says interchangeable head. And
interchangeable hands.
Yes.
With bloodied fists, no less. Which I'm amazed they can actually do.
Yeah. You've got the actual boxing gloves, which is how obviously I'm going to display him. But then he has the wraps on the hands as well. So yeah, there you go. That is what you get.
It looks bloody good.
And can we just take a moment to say, plastic packaging is back. It makes such a freaking difference to collecting. It is like the plastic-free era was just not a fun era at all. That was the dark days of modern collecting for sure. Mark, when it comes to Big Burrow, do you feel the same? Happy about it?
Oh yeah, 3 Cobra characters I've wanted since the line probably began. Dan, we have one Croc Master. Yeah. This is the other one, and Raptor, which is a name only reveal, which should be on the way. They're sort of shown artwork together, fighting one another. So yeah, one of my absolute top favorite characters. Only things I would have changed personally, I'd have made the mask a bit bigger, the gloves a bit bigger, and the original figure came with a punching bag. It would have been nice to get a punching bag as well, just for that nostalgia of the original figure. But I love it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that at all. Yeah. I actually quite like Tom said, I like the adding of the extra parts. Again, Classified takes inspiration from the past, and it's not scared of like bringing it up to modern day or adding extra parts. I'm never going to complain at extra parts. Right, let's keep going through. Next up, we have, I think, one that I was wanted, because I just think it's a crazy robot colour scheme, but it's the Techno Viper. I just love these robot-y style looking characters with the pipes and stuff all over them, and this colour scheme. And we nearly got a purple technician with the hiss, to be fair. It was one of the options, wasn't it? But it wasn't to be.
Yeah.
But now we have a purple Techno Viper. So I'll definitely be buying a couple of these. It's an army builder, so I still have that one with that rule where if it's an army builder, I need at least 2. Mark Tat's got a crazier rule than me, but you can explain that later. I really like the schematic, like sort of the 3D sort of effect that comes out of his arm. Obviously, the weapon, the laser plugs into the backpack. They never showed it off on the stream, but those 3 different tools actually plug in vertically on the back of his backpack as well. I think some of the images may show them off a little bit better if we can find the images for. So let's go to you, Mark, actually, for this one then.
Okay.
You liking Tele Viper?
So I wasn't that excited about this until I saw the stream, and then I thought, oh yeah, this. I mean, everything got me, but I was like, this looks really good. Exactly like what you said, Dan. The colour scheme looks really good. Yeah. So I think he's got some weapons still there, but the colour scheme looks really good. The one thing I really loved as well was the sort of video the screen readout on his, on his gauntlet. The clip there looks really good, really, really good. Another one. These guys are kind of like the engineers of the Cobra Army. So yeah, like you were saying, another one that you can army build, and I'll be doing that. Yeah, so looking good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the purple. I don't know why.
Same.
I just like the purple. What are you saying, Tom?
Much like Mark, I was kind of like, do I need this one? And then when I saw it in person, I was like, yeah, I definitely do need this one.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's screwing with my internal logic something, and I'm not overly familiar with this version of the Viper, is in my head, the androids are bats and the Vipers are humans. So is this a human in a like technified electric kind of androidy suit, or is it a robot?
I'm with you on that. Like, I don't know what the official canon says. I have no idea. But in my head, I'm on the same wavelength as you. If you're a bat, you're a robot. If you're a Viper, you're a human. And this is like a human in a mask with his equipment and stuff. That's him. That's
with a
what
bit
I
of
think.
cyborg
Yes.
stuff going on. Yeah.
Yes. Like just an advanced suit. Like if Mars, he's been on the phone to Mars. Destro, what you got for me? Here you go, new advanced suit. Nice
In
readout.
purple.
Yeah. What colours you got? I got put it in purple. Put it in purple. So yeah, I'm with you on that wavelength. I just like it. What can I say? I just like it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Just think my
Yeah.
bats were like up there with one of my favourite classified figures, full stop, period. So anything similar or along that same vein, I'm very happy with. And the purple is going to stand out in a collection that's got a lot of blues and a lot of reds, starting to get a little bit more green. But yeah, the purple's a nice touch.
Am I right in thinking that another version of this is coming with the
Yes, I think so.
attachment to the hits?
Yeah. Mm.
With the
Is that the same as this, or is it different?
With the
Fire
missiles.
With the deco, I mean, not the obviously.
No, not the fire squad, Dan. You know, yeah, that Tom's right. You know the missile thing that will plug into the back of the hiss, the vehicle that with the missiles on it. I think there's another version of the Techno Viper coming with that.
What's it called? I'll have a quick look.
It is called. That is a good question.
They did it as a render. I'm pretty sure they did it as a render.
Yes, they did a digital render. Yeah.
Ryan Daly says Techno Vipers are humans who build their own Star Wars helmets for Comic-Con before joining Cobra. They do.
Interesting fact for
Star
both of you,
Wars
actually, Dan and Tom.
Yeah.
Don't know if you noticed this when you're watching the stream. Lenny, just randomly at that point, Lenny got out a test shot of the Techno Viper.
Oh,
Yeah, but with kind of a lighter scheme. So where all the black was white, and he kind of that's it. He kind of said, "This is going to be in my collection. I use it as a commander." And all the chat was saying, "Release it, release it. We want it, release it." So,
because when I saw the screen grabs before I watched the stream, I thought that they were showing off the other version that went with the attachment for the back of the his. But it's just a misprint, I guess.
But people want that now. I think people now want that one. So
I'm going to have a look. It's the SM. Ryan Daly's on fire today in the chat because he said it's the SMS with the Techno Viper. So I'm going to have a quick Google.
I think it's a darker colour scheme.
See if I can find the image for that. G.I Joe Classified.
I feel like it might be red and black. But...
Yeah.
G.I Joe Classified. Let's look.
Which would make sense because all the other history was red and black.
Yeah, it is red and black. You're absolutely right. It actually looks sick. It looks like it all goes sick with the his tank, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now I've got the his tank. I'm excited for all these extra elements of the his tank. So, yeah, there you go.
I don't have the shelf length to fit the attachment on the back. So.
I just put it in front. Put it to the side. Put it on another shelf. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, with the Fire Squads as well, there's 3 other versions, like 3 other characters with the his tank colour scheme. So now we've got a Tele Viper with it as well, and we've got the toe on the back of the his tank for all of this too. So
makes you wonder actually if they might do that kind of stuff with the Dragonfly as well. Release ground crews like Joe ground crews and things. You know,
maybe.
like
Maybe. But there you go. That looks good. But there you go. Tele Viper. Looking really nice, and yeah, it does have Star. Looking at this, looks more Star Warsy now.
It's very dark, isn't
it? With the new colour palette, it definitely looks more Star Warsy for sure. All right, cool. Let's keep going through. So these are all mainline releases. They're all part of the main wave. They're on Pulse right now for pre-order. Next up, another fan favourite with Marvel ties. It is of course Quick Kick.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's eating his chocolate bar with the pictures that Lenny's got. But the actual promo image is he's in a cage fight and he was beating up Big Boa. So there he is, having a fight with Big Boa. Lenny was talking about his feet. He's clearly a fan of feet. He's probably on Feet Finder all the time, looking for Quick Kick's feet. He's got his backpack with a couple of swords. Articulation looks great on him as well. And then another pinless figure with a great range of articulation. He looks great, and there he is, celebrating with his chocolate bar.
Looks like he's been going to the same dojo as Shang-Chi, doesn't he? Looks really similar.
Like very similar, yeah.
Yeah.
There he is. And he comes with 2 heads as well. So nice display options on the shelf. If I can ever find the actual promo shot.
You know that one there that you showed, Dan, where he was eating the chocolate bar, he was pulling that kind of face. Lenny said in a previous live stream, they really wanted to capture that Bruce Lee kind of like, face where he's pulling that kind of, like kind of.
Do that again, Mark.
Yeah.
You freaked me out. It scared me a little bit there, Mark. Scared me. Yeah, who were you showing off there, Tom?
That is Fei Long.
Fei Long, yeah. Vibe. Similar vibe for sure. We're gonna have to create a little ring and start having an actual tournament.
Speak to Jay.
Tournament in Jay's got a few rings for sure.
Yeah.
Have a little tournament amongst all these different franchises. Blur the lines, like Battle Worlds of the Marvel-esque, but with every other franchise as well. So again, you seem happy about this one, Mark. You like the look of it?
Yeah.
Seems packed with accessories too.
Yeah. So I know I've mentioned it on a previous Joes+Juice. The chocolate bar is from the first appearance of Quick Kick in the cartoon, where he was filming a commercial for fudgy bars, which is what they're called.
Nice
It looks really good. In the comics in the 80s, one of the first crossovers was where Larry Hama, the Marvel team, wanted to do an Easter egg, so they threw Shang-Chi into a sparring session with Quick Kick in one of the early G.I Joe Marvel comics, one of the Marvel comics. But so if you got Marvel Legends Shang-Chi, you can add that into the display, with Quick Kick. But
as your own little Easter eggy cameo on the display.
Exactly.
Like it,
yeah, exactly. Then, but it looks great. Yeah, great.
Liking it, Tom?
I am excited for this. I was more excited before I saw it yesterday. And only because when I look at his head sculpt, I feel like he's gone to the plastic surgeon and had an accident with the cheek filler. And it's just a bit too puffy in the cheek area for me. And I felt the same way about Chuckles. So I don't know if there's a guy doing the sculpts. One of the guys doing the sculpts.
Fart. We're trying not to fart or something. So I sort of see what you're saying. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I see it now. Yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
And on the other head, because the other head isn't that different to the regular head, but on the box he's got this great screaming kind of expression on his face, and I just wish that on the second head they put the amazing screaming expression on the second head.
Yeah, you mean on the artwork there? You would had that head sculpt. Yeah, I agree. That would have definitely have.
That would have been amazing. Yeah,
that would have been better than what you've got, because you're right. They are very similar head sculpts. They're different. As I said, Mark did a great impression of what it is. It's the there you go. Thank you. It's one of them. But yeah, the screaming head would have been a better shout for sure. And Rich says, "Forget the head. It's got nipples." So, of course, I don't know if Topless Scroob is still here, but he must have ran off with excitement because we've actually got a topless figure on display here. So, apparently his sash comes off as well. He actually does come with a few throwing stars separately as well, it seems. So, I'm loving when these regular wave figures are packed with accessories. I know Joes have always been pretty good at that, to be fair, as well. But it's still nice to see that. Again, this guy's got 3 sets of hands, and for a kung fu style character, you absolutely do need those posing options. Got some nunchucks there as well, and the throwing stars, and the chocolate bar is just a very nice touch. It's just
nice Easter egg.
Nice Easter egg for the fans for sure.
I think I'm going to get some really small thin chain and replace that middle bit.
So you can actually pose them and articulate.
Yeah,
that would be sick. I've done that with the Ghost Riders chain. I've got like a piece of bendable metal within the chain links,
nice.
So it poses the chain when he's whipping it. So I see what you're saying there with the nunchucks. I've seen people do that with Michelangelo as well, Turtles vibe. Okay, next up, again, main line. I think this is the last one in the main line. It's Airborne. So he will be a perfect accompanying piece to the Dragonfly next year, and apparently the greens and the colour palette do match the Dragonfly that comes out. So again, another classic Joe that I think people are very happy to get. He's got his 2 goggles. One of them is like just the straight up green that goes on the top of the helmet. The other ones have got a bit of colour to it. I do like the little pop of blue again with the sort of jumpsuit. And then he's got the Indian heritage, I think, with the skin tone. So it's arcs back to the actual character origin, which is nice to see. The diversity in the line as well. Some nice accessories too, it seems. Let me find these promo images. Tom, what you saying with Airborne?
Yeah, I like him. I like it when they just give you like another little aspect of the military, kind of another little different side alley to go down. So you've got all these different kind of characters. They normally wouldn't all go together, but when you put them all together, they make up a real G.I Joe display, because you've got just all these little random people from different parts of the military. So the more of that, the better.
I agree. My displays are definitely turning into their own little sub-teams, especially with the Night Force and the Tiger Force and stuff like that. like I can see my display slowly like creating like mini displays within the display, so I can definitely see, because we get 4 figures with the Dragonfly, don't we, again? So
Yeah.
there's going to be characters that sort of are in the same colour palettes and stuff, which I quite like our own little units of the G.I Joe. If G.I Joe is one big team, one big force, then you've got their own little units where I like. And I also shout out these pictures as well, by the way. He's clearly helping Shang-Chi out or something. He's burst in, and look in the background. Shang-Chi's got the chair, and he's about to beat up Big Boa with it, who's on the floor. So I like that little touch there of the photography. But he looks great. Again, pinless as well. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, very good, Dan. It's a bit like what Tom was saying. Like what when we were first looking at the name only reveals earlier, when we looked at Leatherneck and who's the other one again? Well, those two, and we didn't. Yes, and we didn't mention those so much. It's a case of classified of like us. There'll be a name only reveal or a digital render or something. And I think, oh, it's okay, and you see the figure like this, and think, no, it's great. I want it. And this is the same thing here. It's like, yeah, Airborne looks fantastic. As you may have noticed, I've got myself Airborne and done musical chairs. I'm in a different location again, but yeah, it looks really good. Another really good.
You've got to make sure you stay incognito. I get it. You need to keep moving around.
Yeah.
I get it. You're on the front line. You can't stay in one spot. You'll be found. You've got to keep moving, Matt. I get it. Don't need to explain to us. You're on a mission. So yeah, Airborne looks great. And again, he'll be a great accompanying piece to the Dragonfly next year.
Absolutely.
I like that when they're conscious that these characters compare up with other things, and they make sure the colours. Do you know, like it's not like it's the green's close. It's like, no, it's the exact green they use on the other characters. So I like that they're consistent throughout the line when they put these characters out there.
And Dan,
yes,
something you mentioned. Just want to touch on something you mentioned there earlier.
One second, we got a super chat. Oh, there he is, Topless Scoob.
Topless Scoob 5150 donated $5. More nipples.
Topless Scoob, thank you very much. I knew he was watching. As soon as the topless figure came out, there he is in the chat. Nipples! We definitely see nipples. Definitely see nipples. What's Rich saying? He said his stool is tiny, cause for concern on the Bristol chart. I think that's a poo joke. I think. Not familiar with the Bristol chart, but I'm just going to assume it is. Sorry, Mark. That's
the poo chart.
It is a poo chart. Okay, just confirm. Just needed that confirming. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
No. All I was going to say, Dan, was you were talking about sub teams with Tiger Force and Night Force. With Nunchuck, they'll be doing Ninja Force soon, which will mean we'll get Ninja Force characters of Snake Eyes and a bunch of others. So that's another sub team that they're going to be looking at, starting soon. So yeah, another one to look forward to.
So these are all mainline figures. They're all on Pulse right now for pre-order, along with everything else that was shown that we'll have a quick look at. And we were saying just before the stream went live, it's nice to see that none of us are happy that G.I Joe classifiers are a Pulse exclusive in the UK. I think we've all said that many occasions. We don't like how they've sort of bottlenecked the line. However, it is nice to see them still in stock 24 hours later, because that isn't always the case, especially the good-looking retros, which I know people are very excited for. So, they're still on stock in Pulse. They don't come out until next year, so if you want them, grab them so you don't miss out. So, talking of retros, I think that's the next thing they revealed. And yes, it is. So I'll go through all 3 of the retros, and then I'll come to you guys to see what you think. First, we got Recondo. This is his generic G.I Joe colour palette. Of course, we already have him in figure form, so it's a straight-up repaint, but the version we've got is Tiger Force. So this is the main Joe Recondo, probably the main one you'd want in your display, unless you're not too bothered about that type of stuff. But obviously, he's got the sort of green colour palette. He looks really good. Again, it's the same figure, just repainted so you know what to get. And then this is where the newness starts. If Glenda was a big tease, now we know why. It's because, of course, they wanted to give us a retro-looking Scarlet. Now, I have said this for ages. This is what Classified needed to be. This is what we wanted it to be. These classic-looking character designs brought into the modern age. These are so good. So good. No more G.I Joe GoPros attached to them. We're just going back to basics, but still got that classified flair. Comes with plenty of accessories. Forever and a day, I'm sure everyone's mind's eye of Scarlet is in that yellow one piece. Like, it never made sense on the front line, but she made it work. Comes with interchangeable pieces for the ponytail, so you can still have a backpack on. Interchangeable fisted hands as well, which is a nice touch. Weapons, really, really good. And same to be said about Duke with his retro flavour. Oh, there's loads of pictures here for Scarlet. There he is. This is it. This is the Duke that people wanted. Has his helmet, has his weapons. Again, the colour palette is a lot more retro style. The head sculpt's really nice. He's pinless. It's just an epic figure. And to just top it all off, they both come on the retro card as well. So it's one of those things where, I'm a sucker for retro cards, people. I move light plugs and everything to display retro cards. So I'm going to get rid of any furnishings on the wall and just I'll be like one of those guys in insane. Do you know those sailor asylums where they put in a padded room? And it's going to be me, but in a room with retro cards, just going in, rocking on the floor in a straitjacket, just like retro card surrounds me, because I'm a weirdo like that. But there you go. So retro goodness, all of them are. I'll get the promo pictures up, but we got Recondo. There he is, looking great. Then we have Scarlet and Duke. Tom, what are you saying in regards to the new retro cards? Thicker card stock as well, and they're no longer Walmart exclusives, so they should be easier to obtain this year. What are you saying?
I love them. Well, I love Scarlet and Duke for sure. They pretty much got them bang on perfect. I think if there was one thing I could change, I'd give Duke a jetpack rather than backpack. But other than that, I think they're pretty much bang on perfect. And they got old hands and everything. So yeah, they're cool. Recondo, he's nice, but I'd probably pass on him. So
Rekondo's fine. He's fine, but they've spent the budget here for this retro wave on Duke and Scarlet and just give us a repaint. So I'm absolutely fine with it. They had to get that Recondo out eventually anyway. So that's fine. Rekondo's great, but let's be honest. The main event here is Duke and Scarlet. Since they announced they were doing the retro cards with the 6-inch figures, because they've been doing them on the 3 3/4-inch figures for a while. But when they announced they were doing this style card back on the 6-inch, I've been saying, where's Duke and Scarlet? And here they are. So of course, hopefully Cobra Commander's come in. We've already got Deathstroke. We've already got Baroness. We've got quite a few, haven't we? But Duke, Scarlet, and Cobra Commander, I think, are the 3 big characters missing on this card back so far. What are you saying, Mark?
Well, Dan, you took the words right out of my mouth when you said these two are the main event. You're absolutely right. It's nice to have Recondo. I'll probably pick Recondo up, but Duke and Scarlet are the main event, aren't they? And they, like Tom says, they absolutely nailed it. They look exactly like you want them to look. They couldn't have done a better job if they tried. They're great. Yeah. What more can you say?
This is what we wanted. As I said, when people, the 6-inch figure sort of scale has been popular for a while now, and obviously Hasbro, we knew they had G.I Joe, and we were saying for years before they actually did classified, they need to do 6-inch Joes. They need to do 6-inch Joes, and this is what we imagined as 6-inch Joes. This is it. This is, and they obviously when they started. Obviously, the toy company needed it to be based off some sort of media, so they based it off some game, and obviously too much toy politics going on for it to be this. But 4 years later, 2 successful HasLabs, I think, has gave the powers that be at Hasbro the confidence in the line that now the fans of the brand, G.I Joe, working for G.I Joe, can actually start implementing these core parts of the franchise. And
you raised something quite interesting there, Dan, as well, with your point about basing it off media. And we'll talk probably about this later in the stream. But Image Comics, Skybound Image Comics, they have got the rights to Transformers and G.I Joe from Hasbro. So they have launched a brand new comic, and one of the writers behind that has said he's inspired. He collects the classified line, and he's inspired by the classified figures to incorporate those looks into the comics. And they've got a lot of characters which are yet to. Well, they've got some characters anyway, which are yet to mention. How there isn't media. I have got a feeling, because this is really popular, by the way. This comic has been a top-selling comic. They've talked about how it's sold a couple of 100,000 units or something. It's really, really, and Transformers won the same. Really high demand. This is, by the way, if you haven't read this, if anyone out there is watching you and you want some comics to go with your figures and things, get this. It's fantastic. I read the first issue. Really, really good. Larry Hama's writing it. You can literally jump in because there's only 1 issue released so far. They're going to do mini-series with Duke and Cobra Commander, basically showing the origin of G.I. Joe, because it's like a reboot in essence. There's a new universe. It's a shared universe with Transformers and another sort of original property. So it's a continuing story from the previous IDW ones, but it is its own thing as well. So you can literally jump in. It's going to have all the characters you know. It's got a few characters that are brand new. Really good stakes in terms of the first issue. A Joe dies in the first issue. there's a bit where Serpentor and Doctor. So there's a Cobra Island. They show Cobra Island. Dr. Mindbender and Serpentor let off a biological weapon that turns all the tourists on Cobra Island to zombies, including themselves. So it's got sort of monster action in it. Really good. Highly recommended. But sorry, Dan, that was my little media thing, which is sort of relating to classified. Yeah. So
all on theme. And like talking about the Transformers crossover, if you have Chuckles this year, there's little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
There's little Easter eggs like, is there a 6-inch scaled Transformer G.I Joe crossover happening? They've done it in the 3 3/4 inch scale. There you go. Tom's showing it off. What do they call it? Energon, right? Or Energon or something?
Energon Universe. Yeah.
Energon
Universe. Yeah.
So we shall see. We shall see. But the potential's there. But anyway, retro cards are great. I'm sure. And again, obviously, I'm opening these. I love retro cards, but these are absolutely replacing. I have Duke and Scarlet front and center on my Joe's display. Like I build the display around Duke, Scarlet, Roadblock. Do you know, like the main three in my head? Obviously, Snake Eyes to one side, and you've got Gung Ho and Falcon. You start building them out, obviously, from Duke and Scarlet. So those are classified ones. I still like those figures. I had the Redeco versions, so they're a little bit toned down with the metals and the golds and stuff. But these are going straight in, front and center in the display for me. Absolutely. So look forward to it. Okay, let's keep going. So after the retro, I think they got into the 60th anniversary line. So they're showing off the retro cards here. I'll keep skipping through real quick. There you go. So now we get into the 60th anniversary. So these characters don't have names. They're not like got any code names or anything like that. They are 2 brand new action figures into the G.I Joe classified line to celebrate the 60th anniversary of G.I Joe in 2024. And they're basically troop builders. They're a figure and a ton of accessories, so they're obviously at that deluxe scale. But as you can see on the table, very Action Force-esque, absolutely, with a main figure and then tons of accessories to accompany him. So you can buy multiples of these and have them all displayed a little bit differently. They come with 2 heads, 2 different skin tones as well for that diversity. You've got the all the different weapons, the backpack. He's got the hood, no hood, and also got the ghillie suit. It's not really a ghillie suit, is it? It's more of a poncho, like a camouflage poncho. But it does have pockets and stuff on as well, so you can put ammo pouches and stuff in the pockets. So this one looks like a lot of fun. Look, that image looks sick. That looks like if I was a person. If I didn't know we were looking at toys and I just glanced at that, you just think it's a photo of an army guy. So bravo! All the pockets come off as well. So again, if you are buying more than one of these, each one can have a different sort of configuration of the pockets and stuff. So I like that element. I do think when it comes to army building, you need plenty of customizability to sort of make every character you have or every figure you have a little bit differently. So first up, we'll talk about both, of course. But first up, this one's just the what are they referring to? Just the soldier, right? Just the generic soldier.
Action soldier.
Action soldier. Like, so these genuinely do remind me. So again, I was born in '88, right? So I wasn't raised on G.I Joe as such. I seen the Action Force cartoon as a kid, of course, but I was raised on Action Man, like the orange packaging in the 90s of Hasbro Action Man, where none of the characters had names or code names. It was all just Action Man, and each Action Man was branded or themed a little bit differently, and that's what this sort of line is reminding me of, where it's just here's a soldier and then here's a diver and da 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 da. So. I like what we're seeing here. Plenty of accessories. They look great. Tom, what you saying? This looks up your alley, my friend.
No, this is really up my alley, and I haven't seen the photos. I'm actually more keen on them than I was beforehand. I just wish they'd given us a head with the old fuzzy head on it.
Oh yeah, like the flock hair. Yeah,
with the flocked hair.
That's the Action Man I remember too. Yeah, for sure.
That Action Man. That's one of those to plop on. But other than that, it's pretty damn perfect. My only concern is they're hard to army build at that price point.
Agreed.
I have got a lot of gear. I just hope that gear isn't like super. The guns particularly aren't super rubbery, which is what we've been seeing. Like it varies as to how rubbery they are, but if this is all like nice, the weapons are all nice like that. I have been at times in the past very well done, the weapons, but That's my only worry, so it might be a bit bendy. But hopefully they won't be.
Currently, that is one of the big criticisms of G.I Joe Classified. Like, people are liking the character selection, they're liking the figures, but people are ultimately getting frustrated with the quality of the weapons. They're coming out of boxes warped and stuff like that. So I do think that's one of the final hurdles they need to get over to sort of not be perfect. No line's perfect, but like that is definitely a big criticism at the minute with the weapons and stuff. You hope with bigger, thicker guns like this, they've surely got to be better made. They're not going to be warped and stuff, because that's a big, massive gun he can literally have on his back. I think there's some proper promo images as well here. Let me have a look. Here we go. So yeah, like each one of these, looks like a different figure. Like, but it's all the same figure with different sort of incarnations. So like, it's 100% a troop builder. Like, I know we haven't got green shirts yet, but just imagine that brand new Duke who we've just got, flanked by a little squad of these with him.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that would look like a sick G.I Joe display.
But how many?
Agree. Sorry, Tom. Yeah.
How many are you both getting?
To be completely transparent, I've just went one on each currently. But I do think I might go for a second on each. Do you know what I'm like? When it comes to an army builder, I need at least two.
Yeah.
And then that way, if I do decide to display or whatever, I can flank them with the Joes or just spread them around in the Joes. But I'm not the army builder guy. The guy two under me is the army builder guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like having each individual character. I like world building, but these have so much potential. And these are the type where, again, if the price point was a little bit more friendlier, I could see Mark being tempted to buy 28 of these rather than 28.
Here's my answer, Dan and Tom.
Go on.
If the factory's open, I'll buy them.
Yes. So what are you saying then, Mark? Are you like, again, you being the army builder guy? This screams army builder.
I love it. I actually I know what you mean in terms of the price, but I expected the price to be higher. To be fair, I thought with that amount of kit, I thought, it's probably going to be like a £40 price thing. So when it came in at 34, and in fact in the States, there was a bit of an error. Like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth put them up as the same price as like regular figures. So, but yeah, it is pricier, but I don't mind that. It's I'm still going to get my aim is 4 at the minute, but I'll probably get more. But I love it. Yeah, I love it. I take this. I take it like this with all the accessories. I take a version of this with less accessories for 20. A regular price point one with less accessories. I think it's great. Right up my alley as well. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, look at all this. So this is his full loadout. So you get the helmet.
Yeah.
The different heads. He's got the different headpieces. He's got the poncho. He's got all these different pouches of different scales and sizes. They're not two different sizes, to be fair, but they've got different sort of patterns on them. He's got the big gun with the bullets coming out of it.
50 cal, is it? I think they call it something.
I will never. We're British, for God's sake. We stab people, all right. We don't have guns, all right. So I don't know good. For the record, I don't stab anyone, or I'm a nice guy, all right. So, but I'm just saying, I'm not a gun expert. I'm not a military man. I cannot tell you the difference between two guns. I look at them and go, yep, their guns are all right. Do you know what I mean? That's about as far as my knowledge goes. So I will not pretend to be a gun expert, all right? So
that's a backpack.
That is, I can confirm, and that looks like a satellite phone as well. So each
dog tags as well. I didn't know it came with dog tags.
Yeah, so they did say that in the live stream. They said that all of the 60th anniversary figures come with a set of dog tags. So every different themed character will have its own dog tags. So there's the soldier one. So continuing looking at them. Let's go back to here. The second one of the 60th anniversary lineup is the diver. So of course we have had a couple of divers in Joe line recently. I think recently we got the Cobra Eels as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
So
Eels,
we've got Torpedo, who's a great figure, and then we've got the Cobra Eels. So of course I'm sure there's some reuse in elements here, but I'm absolutely fine with it. Some people in the chat were saying you could pop on a Snake Eyes head on this body because he's all black and turn it into a scuba, like a scuba Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
He also comes with like a mini submersible, which Lenny was saying, and he's not wrong. I know he's reaching a little bit, but he's not wrong either. It's like a mini vehicle. He's not. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not wrong.
If he gave us a canoe, then that would be
look, I would have been on the tac tac army building bandwagon if a character came with a canoe. Do you know, like I'd have a whole fleet of canoes. It would be the canoe force section of my G.I Joe team.
I still think a canoe and an inflatable rib vehicle. They're missing a trick by not doing those like kind of £35 price.
So my first Action Man as a kid, and I know Action Man's not G.I Joe, but Action Man was born from G.I Joe, if that makes sense. Obviously, it's Action Man is inspired by G.I Joe. So the
original Action Man line in the 60s and 70s was just a remake of the. It was just like the British versions.
Yeah, exactly right. So when I say like, so that's my nostalgia sweet spot is that Action Man. My very first ever Action Man, I've said it before, was the diver, was the yellow diver. So if this was yellow, I would have been all in, like well happy. But I still like that it's a diver, and also that yellow diver had the same yellow sort of raft as well that you're on about. Like, so I do think those smaller scale vehicles like would be great in this line. Do you know, especially now we are getting more water themed characters. Absolutely give us a canoe. I'll be like, Amanda, run the bath. He's arrived. Do you know what I mean? I'll be straight in. The diver looks great. Let's keep going for it. He comes with tons of accessories as well. There's some better promo pictures here, actually, I believe. Underwater images as well. Look at that. There he is with his submersible. He's got all his gear on.
That looks good.
Again, you get two heads with this guy as well. So it is an army builder. You can have a bit of both.
That's the pick that sold me.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can get yourself a little squad. Torpedo could lead that squad as well because they could be like Torpedo's team. That's what I'm saying. Like Joe's, you're constantly building these little teams. So Torpedo is the main guy, and then these are just two no-named soldiers. He's with him on a mission, you know, flanking him. So looking good on land as well. He looks good on land. But
you know what got me was because I think I said after you guys said what was going out for pre-order, I said I don't think I need to diaper, and then I looked at the promo shots about a few minutes after that. And I just thought the head sculpts, the sculpts on the faces are just so good. I was just like, I've got to get one of these guys. And I feel like I almost need a second one just to put the other head on. But
I know they're tight fitting, like sort of swimsuits or whatever on them, but they're still just black hooded. Do you know, I'm sure you could pop them off and use them on other things.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Could you put them on other figures?
Of course you could. Of course you could. I think you could. Absolutely. But look at the loadout. Like, they're basically it's like a figure with an accessory pack, isn't it? That's what I was saying. It's very Action Force-esque. Yeah. You know, there's no escaping it.
Absolutely.
Bobby's been doing it for a while now, and Joe's are obviously playing catch up. But I like what I see. And again, that little mini submersible's there as well. Nice little touch with the Joe logo on it. So Tom, you said you're in now, right? Again, dog tags here as well.
I've got one ordered. I've got two of the soldiers, so we'll see. I'd like a second one of these, but it's just the price point that's putting me off slightly.
I'm the same
because the accessories are cool. It's like I love accessories, but ultimately half of them end up in a bag and not used. So it's like that's the only thing that's putting me off.
I agree. That's why I love Joe's as well, though, because 90% of the time you can display your G.I Joe with all of his accessories on. Do you know, like obviously not including interchangeable hands and heads, etc. But when it comes to his gear, a lot of the time your Joes can be displayed with all the gear. Like if we go back through some of these pictures, like they have all their gear on some of these images. Where's one on the land? I think there we go. Like, look at that. That's got a lot of his gear on. Look, he's even got the flippers attached to the back. They're hooked onto the back of the rig he's got going on as well. So, but yeah, there you go. So both of them. Mark, what are you saying with the diver? Are you in?
Same. Yeah, I'll get two because there's obviously two different face sculpts. I'll get two so I can display, one of each. And the shot where they're kind of like, the shot where they were kind of leaning over with their guns and their silencers together was the one that kind of just tipped me over the edge thinking, I mean, my preference out of the two, the Action Soldier, that's the one I like. That shot there, because it's like Navy SEALs type thing. It does kind of sell me. But out of the two, I like the Action Soldier. the one I prefer a little bit more, but I'll definitely get 2 of these. Yeah, just to kind of have a team for Torpedo.
Yeah, I want to, and I think I will. Like Tom said, though, it's the price point puts me off a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and because so much went up for pre-order at once, I didn't want to go crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've basically pre-ordered everything, do you know? So just one of everything for now. Because again, I'm a sucker for retro cards, but I've only went for one of them right now as well. Too much at the minute to commit to, but I was just happy to get one of everything down. But again, once I get it in hand, I'm sure I'll be like, okay, well, I can't just have one generic soldier on the shelf. He's got to have a mate. Do you know what I mean? So, Displayed once in the chat says, I think Tom should review this in his wetsuit in a canoe. Ace plus content there. Look, Tom, if you're going to film that video,
I'm not getting on a video in a wetsuit.
I would edit it and put it on the channel. Not a problem. We can make that happen. The Recon Diver has 7 unique accessories and reuse. I've got... when it comes to G.I Joe, I don't mind a little bit of reuse in the line, especially when we've got weapons and stuff like that. Like I don't mind too much, but there's a little bit of new there as well for sure. We've not seen that submersible before. And again, like Tom said, the dog tags, little touch, little detail. But I think when I was younger, I had some dog tags, and I got my granddad to engrave them for me. He had worked at some factory, and he was like, I can engrave them. It's like, take them, and I just. Like a young kid walking around with dog tags on, like no attachment to the military or anything, just a proper lot of loser. But again, love that shit. So, all right, okay. So that is your lot, people. It is all went up for pre-order. So recap: you've got the 4 mainline figures, you have the 3 retro cards, and then you have the first wave. That's what Emily kept saying. The first wave of the 60th anniversary figures. With their big loadouts. They are all still up for pre-order on Pulse. Again, annoyingly, G.I. Joes are a Pulse exclusive in the UK, but places like Props and Replicas have already put their pre-orders up for this wave as well, if I'm correct. Let's have a look. Props.
You are.
Yeah, Props and Replicas. Where's the pre-orders down a bit? There you go. So you can get the 60th anniversary ones and the main line. No retro cards up on Props and Replicas, but the rest of the figures are as well. So yeah, get those pre-orders locked in if you want them, people, because I'd hate for people to miss out.
I think Whole Shebang have the retro cards as well.
Oh yes, you're right. Whole Shebang did put links up for them all as well. So they will be import stock. So I know it's hard to pick out of all of that. But do you have a highlight, maybe 1 or 2 of those 9 that like are absolute you cannot misses? So for me, it's Duke and Scarlet. Like, don't get me wrong, I like everything that I'm seeing. Like, I genuinely do. But if you said to me, look, you can only get 2 of these bloody things, it's Duke and Scarlet, because I think they are integral to a G.I. Joe display, and really liking them. What about you, Tom?
It's a tough one.
It is.
I'd say Big Boa, I think, ultimately big. Oh, yeah. So I would say Quick Kick, but it's those cheeks that put me off. So yeah, I'll go with Big Boa.
What about you, Mark?
Well, yes, like Tom, I would say Big Boa. My other one, if I had to pick 2 that were, we could only have 1 or 2, Big Boa and the 60th Action Soldier.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that was everything that got revealed this week. So it was literally yesterday, wasn't it? So literally yesterday. So brand new, last G.I. Joe live stream of the year. And I'm sure they will be back swinging in 2024. And again, another HasLab. We're getting the Vamp next year as well. There are other vehicles rumoured, but we will save that discussion until 2024. Right now, as we are here at the end of 2023, we are going to use this as a moment to reflect and recap on the year that was and do a top 10 G.I. Joe classified for 2023. Now, to be completely honest, I've told these 2 before I went live, I do not have a top 10 prepared. A lot of my figures are still piled up, unopened, upstairs. So I'd feel like a fraud doing a top 10 when I haven't even had hands on and took some of these figures out of boxes. So hopefully if I get some time over Christmas, I can open some up and maybe I'll do a top 10 on the channel. But right now you have 2 veterans of G.I. Joes that know their shit and also have all these figures opened that they are going to do their very own top 10. Okay, so let's get into it. This is Tom and Mark's top 10 G.I. Joe classified of 2023. 2023. And once we've done this, we're going to invite you guys on, anyone out there in the chat who wants to come on and give us their top 3. So as these guys are doing their top 10, you start thinking about your top 3, and we will get some guests on at the end to give us their bronze, silver and gold G.I Joe classified of 2023. All right, so start thinking about it. You've got about half an hour. Let's go. All right, so Tom, number 10. Let's start with you. What you got? What's 10? Your 10th most wanted G.I Joe.
This is my only debate, is whether it's Shipwreck or Retro Snake Eyes. So let's call them 10th equal, because I can't decide.
Okay.
I love both these guys.
We've had Snake Eyes. We've seen the Snake Eyes. Give it to Shipwreck.
But that was the only reason why I was questioning it. Otherwise, he would have been definite.
That's a great Snake Eyes, but as a unique character to the line, fan favourite, he deserves to be in there.
Yeah, like this was like my top most wanted Joe in our your ones we wanted in the future 1 or 2 years back. So it's great to have him in the line. I don't think he's 100% perfect, but I do think he's all pinless for a start. His accessories are great. The only thing that throws me off slightly is his head. I don't know why his head throws me off slightly. Maybe it's not quite animation accurate enough for me, but there's something about his head that's knocking him down the list a bit. But
maybe
definitely.
Maybe because the interchangeable headpieces and stuff, maybe it's like...
I think it's the face, or maybe the expression he's pulling. I'm not sure.
I just really like Polly. I just those.
Yeah, the parrot's great.
Those little details, really like. So good number 10. So what about you, Mark? What's at your number 10? I've got pictures ready, so just set.
Yeah, I have, Dan. Yeah, I'll send you some pictures. So my number 10 is the Steel Core 2-pack. Dan is shown off here. Yeah. Now, the reason it's number 10 for me, to be honest, with my top 10, there were so many that were kind of like moving around where I thought, oh, maybe this should be higher slot, maybe this should be lower. I could have put this higher, but it's number 10 because there's some reuse. It's kind of older bucks. There's one criticism about them being a bit shorter than some of the newer Joes in terms of height. I personally don't mind that, but I know it's something that kind of a few people were kind of
I've got them on
not.
flight stands. I don't care. They're on flight stands.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, that's true.
The
Yeah,
height
you
comparison
can
don't
make
make a
them
difference
taller.
to me.
Yeah.
They're on a flight stand. They're hovering. They've got jetpacks on.
Yeah,
Fine with me.
absolutely. I mean, it's a really fun pack. Comes with loads of, a loadout, troop builder. So I always love those. So could be higher on my list, to be fair, but it's my number 10 just because there's so many other good ones, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and I should say that this list, look, we are just having a bit of fun here on YouTube. We are not saying subjectively that these are definitely the best in this particular order. This is just Tom's and Mark's opinions. Everyone has their own preferences and their own favourites, and I'm always curious of my friends' preferences. And again, that's what makes collecting so fun, is that everyone has their own favourites. So I'm curious to see. I genuinely didn't ask them to. I've tried not to look at Mark's when he sent me the picture, so I'm genuinely curious where they go here. I have no idea where Tom's going. So let's go back to Tom then. Tom, what's your number 9?
Number 9 is Helix.
Helix,
which is a surprise one for me
brand
because
new.
when she was first revealed in the renders, I was like, I don't need that. And then the more I saw people's photos and reviews, I was like, I do need it. And then when you get her in hand, and I only opened it today, so I may be slightly biased. But
recent surprise, Helix.
But she's just a cool figure, and the articulation on her is fantastic. And these weird wrists or things which in real life would be highly dangerous, and you'd probably kill yourself within 10 seconds. But the whole concept of them is cool, and it just gives her a bit of extra dynamicism.
She's got an itchy nose. Oh, I'm blind! Yeah, dangerous. She's
got twin pistols. I always like a character with twin pistols. So.
Look, she's another female in the line. She's a more modern character that's been brought into the classified world as well. Great head sculpt on her as well. I like the colour palette. Again, Joes are all very militant colours, ain't they? We've got a lot of drab colours. So I like the yellow. It pops a little bit. I think she looks great. I like what did they call that hairstyle? Like I think Jay was telling us the correct
Auburn.
term. What's it?
Yeah, Auburn. I think,
okay, yeah, I like that sort of hairstyle. She stands out against the other females we already have in the Joe line. We don't have too many, so probably easy to do, but still, I really like her as well. So great pick.
Yeah, she's very.
What about you then, Mark? Your number 9.
So my number 9, Dan and Tom, is Rock and Roll. Now, the only reason it's number 9 is simply because rock and roll, baby. Only because he's like, I don't have too much attachment to the character from when I was young, but don't get me wrong, he's absolutely fantastic. And again, a really great figure. He could have easily been higher up in my list. Really well done. Strange enough, looks. I don't know why I think this. When I look at the face sculpt, it just reminds me of Prince Harry. It's really strange, or Harry, I should say now, which is really random. I know, yeah, but yeah, a really great figure.
Prince Harry.
I just think, yeah, I know that is random. Yeah, I don't know what it was when I had it in hand.
You just
like,
read the figure for me.
Harry, yeah. Strange. We need a Meghan Markle figure, maybe to maybe not. But yeah, it's the only reason for me is because I don't have so much of an attachment to the character, but a really great figure.
Yeah, great figure, rock on hands and all of that. Big weapons. It's got the big grizzled look, tattoos. Yeah, I like this guy. Another big brute for the G.I Joe team for sure. Back to Tom then for number 8.
And number 8 is Buzzer.
Another brand new one. These
another brand new one today.
Recency bias are sneaking into Tom.
There's a lot of recency bias going on. But I hadn't got any Joes in for a while, or not en masse, and then a load came in today. So there are. I think they're the only 2 new ones, to be fair. He's great, and I love the chainsaw. He would be higher, to be fair, but these glasses are pissing me off a bit.
I've heard that people keep saying they're falling off a little bit.
Yeah. They don't really go over his ears properly, and I'm kind of like, I should have done 2 heads, and I'm wondering whether I should glue them on. But there's something about that upsets me at the same time.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating that you can't have that option, isn't there? So
but he looks better with the glasses, so maybe ultimately get some.
So you just need Ripper now. Ripper's in stock on Kapow, the only place I've seen it in stock in the UK.
Yeah, I know. Annoyingly, I'd ordered it from Whole Shebang earlier that day, but it's supposed to be coming with Whole Shebang this month. So
yeah.
So hopefully soon, and we've got more dreadnoughts on the way, so that's going to be good.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's go back down to Mark then for your number 8.
My number 8, yeah.
Let me get the picture set up for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking about when we were talking about the 60th line earlier. We were talking about divers. So my number 8 is Torpedo. Now again, same reason for rock and roll for me. Just because I didn't have so much connection to the character when I was young. But absolutely great figure. I really like the fact that you can put this guy on a display, and he's like a fish. He's literally like a fish out of water if he's got all the diver gear on, because he's next to people who are soldiers and sort of airmen and things like that. And you've got a diver sort of like standing in your collection, or if you have to have him on dioramas. Lovely shot there. I think the Hasbro team done some great photography. But yeah, really great figure. It's just for me. As these are our lists and everything, like you were saying, Dan, and it's just a bit of fun. It's just for me that it's like I don't have enough connection to the character, but I do really like him.
Another great figure. My flipper came out the box a little bit warped, and it still annoys me every time I look at him on the shelf. He's got like this flipper that like curls up at the end.
Can you not put it in hot water?
I have. I suppose I could. I just haven't yet. That's all. So I just my G.I Joe display is a mess at the minute. Like if you look in the background of my His Tank video, the top shelf has just got gapped all over it because I keep taking and moving them around. But
I can guarantee it's in better shape than your Marvel Legends display.
It's like I could. What's crazy about Joe's now is that this is going to be full of this is going to be full of Marvel Legends, but I could easily fill some of these shelves now with G.I Joes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's these 4 big shelves could probably be filled with Joes now. That's how big the collection has got. So
what will you do, Dan, with the attic space? It's quite like, are you going to have to expand it in that one with the G.I Joe?
My plan was to genuinely convert that attic into a room, but we got it quoted and it was way past mine and Amanda's price point. So unfortunately, I'm trying to maximise the space I do have. That's why I focused on getting this room sorted. So my Legends will be in here. I'll probably display a little bit of other things this side of the wall, and then upstairs I probably will try and expand my Joe display. I have to. I've got a His Tank now. I can't just leave it on the table. I have to find a place for it. So yeah, I will expand my Joe collection. I've got a couple of weeks off over Christmas, and I'm genuinely just looking forward to just playing with my toys and displaying again. Do you know what I mean? Like it's depressing seeing nothing behind me. So yeah, I'll be back at it soon enough. But Torpedo's a great figure. He is one I opened. He is one that's already on my display. Looks very, very good. Right, number 7, Tom.
My favourite character, Bazooka.
Ah, nice. So this is the regular Bazooka.
The regular release, which came out, I think it was like one of the first ones that came out this year. So he could be higher up, I guess, but we already had him.
Yeah, that's fair.
In his old colours, so he was less exciting second time around, even though
but it's
I do love him.
This is
colours.
the version you wanted, right? The red.
This is the version I wanted, and I think he's great. And you can obviously, I've had him with that Mezco missile thing coming out, which looks great, and and he also looks great with the effects that we got with one of the thing, something we
Scrap
got this
iron.
year. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
What was it, Mark?
Scrap iron.
Oh yeah. So he looks great with that, and yeah, he's the figure that I remember most from my childhood, and it's great to have him in classified form. All now is for Mezco to do.
Every time I see that guy displayed with like the effect pieces, I'm like, okay, I need to open my my scrap iron, because apparently those pieces go into the his tank as well, don't they? So I need to get that open and start. I need to start experimenting with those sort of effect pieces. But yeah, Bazooka's one of your favourites, and it's nice to get the version that you wanted in the line for sure. And I get it's probably fair keeping it low on the list because we've already had that figure before, so you can give some love to some of the other newer lines. So that's all good. Right, next up, let's go down to Mark then. Mark, your 7 is someone we just mentioned.
Well, it's funny enough, it's funny enough. You both mentioned
segue.
scrap iron. Tom mentioned it in regards to the pieces for Bazooka. You mentioned wanting to open it, and he's my number 7. And yeah, he's a really fun figure. That's what for me puts him at this position on the list, because again, it's not one I've got any attachment to from childhood or anything, but the amount of effects he's got, the way you can display effects like this, he's really fun. And I remember when I first got him out of the package, I was playing with him like loads, with the older display pieces and that for ages. So a really fun one. You don't necessarily need to have much of an attachment to this one to really enjoy him and get the most out of him. So that's why he is number 7 on my list.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I need to, as I said, I need to open him up, get the display up, and yeah, I told you, the arsenal for the Cobra is insane compared to Joe's at the minute. They have the weaponry. Joe's are in trouble. Joe's are in trouble. This, and then you got the his tank, and as I said, all you've got is Ram, the Vam cycle. Poor guys. Okay, cool. Let's go to number 6 then. Back to Tom.
My number 6 is, hang on, let me get hold of him. Is Chuckles. I'm cheating slightly because I've got an old head.
I was curious where he would pop up in people's lists.
The thing that I love about him, even though I swapped his head out for the Quasar head from Marvel Legends, and he's got Valorverse weapons, but the thing that really strikes me when I look on the display is his Hawaiian shirt, like blazing back at me in that sea of like green and toned down colours. Those pops of colour that you get from G.I Joe, they're just amazing, and he's a character I've wanted for a long time. So yeah, he's my number 6.
Yeah, so tell the people what you did actually do to him then. I'll put you on full screen so people can see. So you have like sort of give him your own little flavour there.
Yeah, so he's got a cigar. He's got the Quasar head from Marvel Legends.
Walgreens exclusive Quasar, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got Valorverse weapons.
Very nice. I love the cigar.
I mean, he does look great with the Hank Pym head on from the West Coast Avengers 5-pack, but that's an expensive way to get a spare head for you.
It is indeed. I still need to get that 5-pack as well. So
it also looks good with the 20th Captain America head on.
So very nice. So that was your 6, and that lines up perfectly because Mark Tac, your number 6 is.
You can shout snap, Dan, because my number 6 is also my number 6 is also Agent Chuckles, and for the same sort of reasons that Tom said, because he's just really fun. He's a really fun figure. He comes with loads of accessories, like what I was saying, scrap iron being fun. He's loads of fun, this figure. I picked him up at MCM Comic Con. Funnily enough, shout out to Craig's Nostalgic Collection. It was actually Craig.
Heard of him.
It was prompting me to get it. I wasn't initially going to. Craig said, "Oh, you should pick him up," and I loved him when I picked him up. One thing I really like the beaten up head. I like how the glasses don't quite fit, but it adds to the charm of the beaten up head. So my one's displayed with the beaten up head and the sort of glasses not fitting on properly, like he's broken. A really fun figure. Loads of accessories.
So today is the ship date. So today is the 8th of December. So if you're in the UK and you haven't brought import stock or you haven't brought it at a convention like we did, it's available today. So it's still up for pre-order. So I'm assuming if you pre-order it now, it'll probably charge after midnight tonight. Because I remembered I had one on pre-order, so I had to cancel it because I've already got one. But if you want one in the UK, he's available on Pulse for pre-order right now, and it will probably ship like this week if you pre-order it. So again, he's one of the exclusives, isn't he? So he's basically this year's version of Mindbender, I would say, right?
Yeah.
With the single pack.
Yeah.
And just think how hard Mindbender is to get now. So he's one of those where if you're thinking about it, get it now, because do you reckon we haven't seen a single release of Mindbender yet? So I don't know if it's going to be any time soon that we see a Chuckles, if that makes sense. I'm sure we might see a single pack version of Chuckles down the line, but I don't think because of this version it'll be any time soon. So yeah, great figure. And again, that little accessories, that little Transformer tease. So they're world building.
Definitely.
Right, let's get into top. Did I even show that as I was talking? There it is. 8th of December.
Yeah.
Right, top 5. Tom, what made your number 5?
This bad boy, the Telly Viper Double Bubble.
Very, very nice.
The Telly Viper is amazing, but this figure
is the package. It's the whole ensemble.
It's the package, but the figure on its own is just a great figure. The kind of cheesy grin on his face, and the 2 old heads, which I've got around here somewhere. I don't know where I put them. Oh, here you go. Like, I was thinking this head,
the robot-y one, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon you could put that on like one of your normal troopers and have him like his night vision goggles or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then this guy's, it's just a repaint, isn't it? But they're just great heads. God, he's coming off the stand.
I told you need to attach it in somewhere. Yeah, I told you.
That's the only thing. This clip works great, but it's not perfect.
So Tom's just showed off a custom 3D printed piece that you can clip on to a Mezco stand, and that fits snugly underneath the Trouble Bubble, because these need to be displayed in the air. You can't have them both on display on the land. They need to be up. I can't wait to display mine either side of a his tank. Like, that's what I've been imagining I'm going to do. So yeah, I've got 2 of them, and I've got one of the Python Patrol versions as well. You didn't get the Python Patrol version, right?
No, I didn't get the Python Patrol version.
£35 on Pulse right now. Not Pulse, on
Kapow.
And if you use discount code DanWho5, save 5% on that, even more. There you go. You're welcome. But yeah, great pick at number 5. That if I was doing a list, that might be higher on mine. I really like the Trouble Boy, an iconic smaller Joe or Cobra vehicle that it was perfect for classified, and they did it really well.
I was trying to reduce my influence coming from the vehicle to kind of. He was a bit higher, and then I was like, am I just putting him higher because
of the vehicle? That's
he's
fair.
in a Trouble Bubble, which
last year
is unfair because, you know, if I could put any figure in a Trouble Bubble, and he'd probably jump up the list.
Last year we put Serpentor at 1, and he had a massive chariot. So vehicles, if they come with a
that is true, but Serpentor is an imposing figure.
It's fine. It's fine. Mark, what about you? What is your number 5?
So my number 5, Tom had showed it off earlier. My number 5 is Agent Helix. Same kind of things as what Tom was saying, in that it was a figure that when I saw it initially released, shown digital renders and all that, I was like, not really too bothered, but she's great in hand. So she's from the kind of IDW comics, and I think a video game as well. So it's nice that they're delving into kind of, that's kind of source material. Like Tom says, the kind of, blade accessories are really cool. They're articulated. She comes with guns. She comes with swords. So she's well decked out. A really nice addition to the line. And one of the females to keep Rich M happy as well. So a really good, I know Rich M has picked her up as well. So a great addition to the line. And adding a female. Perfect.
Sorry,
no, that's right.
I'm getting texts off work. I'm like, it's a Friday night. Leave me the fuck alone. Right. I'm off the clock. I'm talking Joes. Again, another one that would be in my top 10 as well. Great looking female Joe. And yeah, even the photography here makes her look so good. Displayed once in the chat. He says hit. Absolutely. Right, top 4. Not quite made the podium, but was close. What's your number 4, Tom?
Range Viper.
Beautiful figure. And thank you, Tom, by the way, because I only managed to get 1, and Tom helped me get a second.
I had forgotten about that.
You did, yeah. You helped me get the second, so thank you very much.
I wasn't that excited for these, and then when you get them in hand,
no take backs.
When you get them in hand, it's like the head as well. The head, and I think they are all pinless as well. They're just a really nice figure, and the weapons are not particularly. They're kind of on the better side of gummy, and they're just that I've actually got them with the proper weapons, which means I must have like the weapons. And it's just the the things like the cord going into the backpack, and it's just an all-round great figure.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier with the Techno Vipers, it's that sort of same aesthetic. Wow, this guy clearly is like a zombie robot-y guy, but it's that same sort of like tech sort of soldier with all the piping and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm with you as well. Like him and Big Ben were two great figures this year. That we came out at the same time. Both very hard to get in the UK, to be fair. Sold out very quickly. That's why I say, thanks to Tom, I managed to stick to my rule of getting two, as he is an army builder. So, yeah, very good. So, number 4. What about you, Mark? Number 4.
So, I think Rich M will be happy she's on the list. My number 4 is Jodie Craig Shooter. So, beautiful face sculpt on this figure. Part of Night Force, this version. Again, one that's probably now a bit harder to come by. I don't think she's released on Pulse yet.
Technically, she's not due until April, but she has popped up in some of the independent retailers.
Yeah, so I picked mine up from Kapow. Yeah, I mean, like a really nicely done female figure, really good face sculpt. She comes with, I think, 2 sort of exchangeable hair pieces and a gas mask. Yeah, and the sort of lore that they've done is kind of Big Ben has gone in to deal with the Range Vipers wherever they're situated, and she's his backup. So that's kind of how they did this bit of the storytelling when they released them, but a really good figure. And again, builds out our females in the line, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, another female, another great head sculpt, options for display as well. And I really like the Night Force colour palette. I know it's simple, I know it's just dark and green, but when you've got Tunnel Rat, Big Ben, like it's a nice little separate team on the shelf. So
absolutely,
so she's looking great. And again, like the female, like every female we get, maybe apart from Lady J, poor Lady J, but every other female I'm really like is top tier. Do you know, really good. All right, this is it. This is podium places. So if you also want to join us to give us your top 3 classified figures tonight, then start sending me those fresh DMs, because as soon as Mark and Tom are done, we're going to be bringing some guests on live, and we also have a G.I Joe classified giveaway tonight, courtesy of Compulsive Collector. Okay, so if you want to be a guest on tonight's show, so I'm thinking people like obviously John, Craig, Christopher, sorry. So hit me up on the DMs right now so I can send you a fresh DM and get you ready to jump in. But let's get into Tom and Mark's top 3 G.I Joe classified of 2023. Tom, what took the bronze medal home?
It is Firefly.
Version 2.
Little caveat, I have got the old head on him.
Okay.
But he is equally good with the new head. It's just this one slightly edges it for me, so I've got that on by... he would still be in the same position, whatever. That original Firefly, I quite liked him, but he wasn't classic Firefly, and this is the Firefly that I think we all wanted, with the kind of just bodysuit rather than
the big armor. He had the big armor,
massive kind of bomb diffuser armor. Can't speak. So great figure.
Yeah, I agree. He's one I've already paid for. I think the whole shebang's waiting for some more stock.
Yeah.
But I will absolutely be adding that one to the collection for sure. The other one was the other one was Cobra Island, sorry. Very hard to find when it first came out. That Cobra Island line was very elusive at the beginning of the classified era. But now these figures are very obtainable. Characters are obtainable at least. And that seems to be the more desired version of Firefly. I think there's demand out there for that on a retro card as well, or a version of Firefly on a retro card. So we shall see what the future holds. But very nice third spot there. What about you, Mark? Number 3.
Well, a quick shout out to Tom. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't think of that one actually. But my number 3, taking the bronze medal, is Shipwreck. And the reason for this for me, Tom mentioned Shipwreck earlier. It's a childhood memory for me, that kind of nostalgia connects to Shipwreck for me.
Absolutely. Nostalgia's a drug, my friend.
It is, and I've taken it. It's in this case, it's So I think this might actually be one of the very first action figures I ever had, possibly. I mean, it was basically when it was Action Force in the 80s. I can remember myself and my sister, we went to Asda. They had loads of Action Force there at the time. I got Airtight. My sister got Shipwreck, so we could have one each. I think we took them with us to the Middle East when we were traveling to Middle East in my youth to live there for kind of a year later or whenever. But that's what connects it to me. It's like my sister got it, and it was one of the first figures that I can remember, from the 80s line. So Shipwreck, and they've really done him justice in Classified as well.
Last year, your number one for Classified was the Crimson Twins. So, and they had that same sort of attachment.
They did.
I love those type of stories because that's why we collect now. Is because the figures had that we attach these memories and stuff to them, and they just hold that special place. So yeah, I completely get it, and completely, as I said, that's what makes everyone's list so unique and different. Is because everyone has their own stories to tell. So I love stories like that. So yeah, a worthy bronze medal winner for you there for sure. And Shipwreck made it into both of your top 10s, which is good to see.
Yeah.
So. All right then, back to Tom. So Tom, this is your penultimate. This is your runner-up for 2023. Your number 2.
Eel.
There it is. So he does.
I don't know what
divers.
it is about the diver figures. Equally gone for the other diver we got this year, but I think this one edges it for me. But there's something, and I never had G.I Joe diver figures as a kid, but I did have Fisher Price Adventure People diver figures. So I think it's like something to do with that's making me love these so much. But it's also there's just something amazing about this figure that nails something for me. And it's all pinless, it's all new sculpt, nice weaponry, removable. We said no removable helmets other than in Star Wars.
They do have a helmet, don't they?
He does have a removable.
Because Torpedo just had the gear, didn't he, that you put over the head? But that's the whole helmet.
Which I'd almost forgotten because he's had that on for so long. But yeah, great figure, a really great figure.
He's taking a breath now. He's like, I've been waiting for the helmet to come off for oxygen. Deep breath. All right, great stuff. Yeah, and like you said, Torpedo was out earlier this year. He was basically a lot of built off Torpedo, of course. But yeah, I think I've got 2 of them. I remember them because they came in a shipper box, like individual shipper boxes. So were they Amazon exclusives? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
I just remember they were in individual shipper boxes, and I can't remember why. Usually exclusives are.
I only got 1. I wish I'd got more. So annoying, but I'm sure they'll come back.
So on that note, that's Lisa. They are They are planning to re-release it as a retro card.
Yeah, that's one on the retro card list.
Yeah. So you'll be able to get another one.
Yeah, interesting. All right, very nice runner-up. So Mark, what is your number 2? What's taking the silver medal?
So my number 2 is just seeing Tom's one of the eel there made me think of we could have got snow serpents. My number 2 is Path Wolf Spider Varma. Now the reason he is my number 2, where we were talking about nostalgia earlier, this is the complete opposite of nostalgia. He didn't even exist in the 80s line. This is a brand new character, but I really love stuff like that. I love, as much as I love nostalgia, I also love really brand new characters, and I really like just having a brand new character. He could have been my number 1 because of how good he is in hand, and I really like him. Why I've put him to number 2 is the reuse factor, in that it's the body of Scrap Iron. I believe it's the head of Kamakura. So it's they are clever with their reuse, the Classified line, but it's kind of a reuse. So he's like a kind of helicopter rescue individual. So he'll come off the helicopter on a wire and rescue Joes in sort of situations. But I love as much as I love the characters from the 80s being updated in Classified line. I love original characters as well. I'm really glad they did this. I really like the things like the Crimson Bats and the Crimson Vipers, and I really wanted there to be some original Joes, and now we got one, and surely we'll get more in the future. So that's my number 2. Dan.
Yeah, that's how you keep the life of a brand strong, because you can consistently reinvent and update, tweak and change and add. And especially when it makes sense. And this is another Night Force figure, like we were talking about. A unique character. At first, when I first seen this, I was like, "Oh, is it an army builder, like a generic sort of trooper?" But it's not. It's an individual character. So welcomed addition to the team. And he looks great. So nice to see him make it so high on your list. But this is it, people. We've got to it. We have got to number 1. So last year's number 1 for Tom was Serpentor, and last year's number 1 for Mark was the Crimson Twins. So this is it. What is your number 1 G.I Joe Classified of 2023, Tom?
Quick caveat before I reveal what my number 1 is. I'm just thinking, because what Mark's just revealed there, I don't even have yet. I don't have Jodie Shooter yet, and there are stuff even releasing next week, which I think might
have make it in.
be way up the list.
Okay.
So the release schedule is all over the place, so it's hard to be exactly what's.
So it's based off figures that you have in your hand, right?
It's based off what I have now, but there are
fair.
some figures that haven't come in yet.
That's absolutely fair.
But having said all of that, this figure, at the moment that I pulled it out of the box and loaded him up with gear, I was like, I think this one is probably going to finish at number 1 this year. And he hasn't moved from that position, and that figure is Snowjob.
Oh, wow, okay. I wondered where we'd see him, and now we know. Number 1. You made it.
He was one of my favourite characters in the cartoon when he did turn up, and I've been looking forward to him for a long time, and he doesn't disappoint. He's got an amazing shelf presence because he's that bright white glowing out of the darkness, and just all the gear, all the different options you get.
And it's all displayed on him, like we talked about earlier. The magic of Joe's is that most of the time you can have him on the shelf. You don't need a little baggie because you can literally display it all on his backpack or whatever. Even the skis, for God's sake.
Exactly, and you can have him fully loaded. This is one other job. You can have him fully loaded, and you put his snowshoes on, and he never falls over.
Oh yeah, of course, because they have the
like a little built-in stand.
Yeah, perfect. All makes sense. Yeah, great pick for number 1, and of course, since then we've had some Arctic bats, and we've also had some
snow
serpents as well. So
they haven't had snow serpent yet either.
Yeah, so like again, that sort of more wintry, sort of cold weather vibe. There's a little team there for them as well now. So you need to start building those displays in the, do you know the top bit of your freezer or the top bit of your fridge? Like, that's what you need to do. Right, beautiful. Right, okay, let's go over to Mark. Then let me highlight Mark here. So, Mark, what is your number 1 G.I Joe classified figure for 2023?
Right, well, going in opposite direction to Tom there, who's talked about having loads of stuff to put on a figure and, loading it out. I've gone for simplicity. And so my number 1, it probably comes as no surprise, but my number 1 figure of 2023 is Robert Grunt Graves. The reason being, so Grunt, in other words. And the reason being, there he is. I need
to find that picture, Mark. Is that picture in our Instagram chat?
Yes, yeah, we have of the multiples of him fighting the bat. Well, while Dan looks at that picture, I'll sort of explain why he's my number 1. Okay, you can argue, is he a troop builder? Isn't he? I've made it a troop builder as in clones in my lore. In my head, he's been cloned, so that's why there's 23 of him, whatever. But when they sort of added the steel core type helmet, for me, that was the option to troop build him. Yes, he's got the name tag on his chest, but I overlooked that, like I say, making him a clone. It's the simplicity that I think I like with this that makes him my number 1. It's on a good body mold. He's kind of on the Stalker type body mold. You can troop build him if you want. Obviously, he was $11.99 for a while in Target. There we go. In the States.
This is why Grunt is Mark Tac-Tac's number 1.
Yeah.
You cannot buy this many of a character and not put it at number 1. So
absolutely.
So Mark has a whole squad of grunts. It's the grunt squad that have all been cloned within his canon, and there they are fighting a team of bats. So just remind the people, right, that are watching here now live on YouTube, how many of these grunts did you buy, Mark?
So I counted them the other day. I've got 23 at the 23 or 24 at the moment, Dan. One more to come from Star Action Figures, so I should have 25 in total.
25 grunts, insane. So that's why the UK's at short demand, short supply of grunts right now. Is Mark Tac-Tac got all the pre-orders in nice and early, and he has a grunt squadron. And they absolutely do work as an army builder. Again, the one thing that one thing we have consistently said is that the Joes don't have enough of an army builder. There's no green shirts yet. So these are green helmeted guys. Do you know what I mean? It sort of works. But absolutely. And again, that's what makes everyone's list so unique, is because this is definitely a Mark Tac-Tac army builder special. I think I've got another image here as well. There you go. There's another one for you. There you go. So are these all back on the shelf now, or they are over? Yeah.
I think I was cleaning that day, so I kind of took the 2 off, put them in battle, photographed them back on the shelves. They're on the shelves, yeah. But I'm gonna, if they come back into stock in the UK, I definitely get more. I really like them. Really good body mold, like I say, is on the Stalker. So if you get Stalker, here's an option, for anyone. If you want a couple, if you get Stalker, that steel core helmet should work on Stalker as well. So you can have a few different ethnicities as well if you want. But yeah, I mean, he was one of the original 12. Funny, interesting fact for you, Dan and Tom as well. Tom may know this as well.
Fact,
there's an episode of the G.I Joe cartoon. It's called, I believe, World Without Ends. I could be wrong, but in that episode, it's funny how the G.I Joe thing is sort of military thing, and there's so many fancy stuff that occurs. So in this episode,
like military fantasy, isn't it?
Military fantasy, yeah. In this episode, something happens where like Cobra are trying to get hold of this device. Anyway, this device opens a portal to an alternate reality. In this alternate reality or other dimension, Cobra's won and G.I. Joe has lost and has been disbanded. Certain members of Cobra are good guys. Grunt goes through this portal in the episode with a few others permanently to live in that reality, to rebuild G.I. Joe in that reality. So maybe this is what he was up to.
Building a little, I like it. See, the headcanon makes sense. And you're not the only one. In the chat, Prophet says, I have 5 of these as a squad to go with my Steel Corps. Because the helmet is, of course, the same as the Steel Corps. They definitely all are in theme with each other. So there you go. Great number 1. And again, an individual choice for both of them. So Tom's number 1 for 2023, based off the figures he has in hand right now, is Snowjob. To be fair, Tom, do you reckon any of the figures that you'll get before the year is out would knock Snowjob off the list?
I think, looking at the photos, I think there's a very good chance that Mutton Junkyard would.
Oh, of course, yeah. 15th of December there, Jew. So, yeah, if we'd done this same list on the last day of the year, things might have been rejigged for sure. But Mutton Junkyard are like at the top of my most anticipated right now. And to know they're so close as well. Like, when's the 15th? Like next week, right? Next Friday. A week today. A week today, we could have a shipping notice for Mutton Junkyard. So crazy stuff. All right, so let's get some people in. Let's get some guests in to talk some G.I. Joes. All right, so I'm going to jump down to my third extra screen I've got down here, and we have some guests from familiar faces from the community, of course. So let's get them in here. So if you do want to be a guest, if you are watching right now, this second live on YouTube, the 8th of December, 2023, send me an Instagram DM and I'll get you in, all right? Let's talk some G.I. Joe. Bring me your top 3 classified of 2023. And talking to top 3, here's top 3 gentlemen right here. It is called Jay's Toy Collection UK, Christopher Allen, and John, a.k.a. Compulsive Collector. How are we doing? Jay, you good?
I'm good, yes. 2 nights in a row. You cannot seem to get rid of me.
Look, you are the super sucker too. You're welcome on this channel anytime, my friend. Then we've got Christopher Allen. Christopher, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How you doing?
I'm all good, my friend. Better that you're here now. And then, of course, last but not least, John, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Okay. I don't like that, John. Makes me sad when you're only okay.
My HISTank tracking still just says label created,
okay,
so it's been a depressing few days.
Now I understand. That's fair. I understand, yeah. I purposely didn't put my HISTank on display with you in mind, John. I just didn't want to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Didn't want to do that to you. I took it off. All right, cool. So
hiding it from you.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just have a quick look as well. I think Craig wants to jump in, but Craig, in traditional fashion, it will turn up in 10 minutes. I have no idea why. He's got the link. Right, never mind. Right, let's get into this, all right? So I've basically asked our 3 guests to bring me their top 3 G.I. Joe classified of 2023. And as you can see, Mark and Tom's list were drastically different. So I'm assuming we're about to get 3 different lists from these guys as well. Because, of course, it's based off what you buy. Like, not everyone buys everything. So your choices are going to be based off the figures you've got in hand. So let's do this, all right? So, Jay, what's your number 3? What hit the bronze medal on your podium?
The bronze medal position, right? It's a fish, man. It's Ray Fillet. No, hold on,
that was yesterday.
That's the wrong stream. That's the wrong stream. Right.
Don't watch Tills until yesterday for his top 3.
There you go. There's your plug. So it is old Scrap Iron. Nice. I've gone for in number 3. Of course, he does come with a big sort of drone, etc. thing that's really cool. But it's his face sculpt that I quite enjoy. I wonder if this sort of works these days. The older put your hand behind it. It's just that sort of
the burn.
manky face. Yeah, the burnt skin. It's just really well sculpted, I think, the face. He reminds me of Two-Face, one of my favourite Batman characters. So he had to make the list at number 3 just because of that face sculpt.
Yeah, the face sculpt, the digital face printing tech, are like implemented in the sculpt with the eye, like it's sort of the veins and stuff. Really, really well executed. And of course, he comes with all those extra pieces and parts for his drone that, as we were mentioning, you can use on many of the other figures in the line. So great choice, and one that we hadn't. So I think Mark put it in his list as well. So yeah, very nice. Christopher, my friend, what's your number 3?
So number 3 was really hard. I kept going back and forth between 2 characters, but I think I'm gonna go with this guy, Ripper.
One that we haven't got in the UK yet, so we're a little bit jealous here.
Yeah, I just think it's a really great figure. I like how that articulates.
Yeah.
Like on the bat, like when they had the claw hand, I wish they would have articulated like this.
Oh, of course, yeah. The back doesn't. It's just solid, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't cool, yeah.
So that's my number 3.
Christopher, I reckon you could rock a hairstyle like that.
Who, me?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't have any hair left.
Look, we make it happen. We make it. We just get you a Mohican style wig and some sunglasses. You can make it work. You can make it work.
Right.
So it's a figure that I'm jealous of because we ain't got it in the UK yet. To be fair, so hopefully I'm waiting to buy Ripper and Buzzer together. So I'm waiting for the first place to get them both in stock so I can buy the pair and then add them with Zartan on the shelf for sure. Okay, John, over to you. What's your number 3 bronze medal?
Number 3 is going to be Rock and Roll.
Where's that sweet camera? Oh, there it is. Oh, it makes me excited.
Prince Harry.
What a cat. Prince Harry. No, don't ruin it for us, Tom. Mark, what have you done to us?
I know.
It's not Prince Harry. It's not Prince Harry.
Yeah, so in the comics, one of my favorite, just like straight military figures in G.I. Joe is Clutch. And Clutch's like best pal in the comics is Rock and Roll. But I was never really keen on his character designs, but the way they did him for Classified, huge improvement, and now the figure sort of matches my like for the character.
Nice, very nice. And it's another one of those figures we got earlier on in the year with the he comes with the interchangeable hands, which we don't often see.
Yeah.
He's got the tattoo on his hand as well, so we can do that sort of pose. They definitely made him a little bit big and gritty. I like him a lot. And then we've got Craig join us finally. How you doing, Craig?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Have you got
had a problem with my mic?
It's fine. You're here now. Have you got a number 3 for us? Are you ready to go?
I did have 10, Dan, but
no, ain't got time for that.
I've cried. I spent like an hour the other day thinking of my top 10. I thought Dan's going to ask me what my top 10 are.
Definitely not.
Of course not. Shot my load, didn't I? Terrible.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've got my top 3. Not to hand though, but hang on, bear with.
It's all right. You can just tell us. We all know what Joe's look like.
Organised as ever, Craig.
Oh my god. We're live on YouTube here, people. Just fine.
It's part of the magic.
He's moaning about not being able to do his top 10, but he can't even cope with the top 3.
He hasn't even got 3, I know. Yeah. Fucking hell, thank God.
Yeah, it's because literally I've been messing about with the shelves thinking where the hell is everything going to go, especially with the big tank that's turned up.
Money in space, collector's biggest problem.
Number 3 is a new figure. So it's this guy. He knocked out Rock and Roll at space.
Ripper.
But yeah, Ripper. He's just great. Like the tattoos on him as well. You've got like the Warthog and then like the scars, and then you got the Grim Reaper on that one side.
So I just told Chris that Alan, that's not available in the UK. So where did you get yours?
No, where did I get mine? In demand. This was the one. This was the one that I questioned, and I says, "Hang on, he's not due till April."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, he's in now. We'll ship in now to you." And I was like, "Oh, okay then."
Happy days. Okay, all right. I did not
know
that.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm putting my hand there. You can see his face. Look at that.
Do his glasses fit better as well?
A little bit. They are a bit like they do fall off. They're a bit rubbery. But if you look at his eyes, one of his eyes has a tear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's to
Yeah,
He's got a tear
pay
underneath.
tribute to a
which is quite
fallen
rare.
friend. I think that's what.
Yeah, and then he's got the shaved eyebrow as well, which I think this is. It was Rock and Roller I had as top three, and then he just got knocked off straight away when I opened this guy.
If Craig's beard was a little bit lighter, I think he looks more like rock and roll than Prince Harry does. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, Rock and Roller's name is Craig, I think, or last
That's
name.
right, he is.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
See, there is a
So
connection
there you
there.
go.
See. All right,
Have the
beautiful.
connection.
So you and Christopher Allen both had that at number 3, which makes me excited to get it because one that I've not got in my.
It is a good figure. It's a good figure.
Right, let's go back up to Jay then. Jay, what took your runner-up spot?
My runner-up. So this comes to personal nostalgia. Now, it's not very long nostalgia because I've only been into G.I Joe for about 3 years, but I got in basically by seeing Classified and then going on YouTube and watching those 3 sort of Sumbo cartoons that Hasbro have uploaded onto YouTube. So what a great show that is. So I would highly recommend the cartoon to anybody that has not watched it. I think it holds up.
24 hours a day on Hasbro's YouTube page, by the way. Occasionally I just put it on in the background. I was watching one today that had like a big clown in it or something. It was weird. I was like, what? I don't remember this episode. But yes, continue. Sorry.
The Games Master or something, isn't it? I think some sort of episode that one.
Yeah,
so I've gone for my favourite G.I Joe character from the cartoon just because he makes me laugh. It's old Shipwreck has made number 2 on my list. So been wanting him for a while. So finally glad that he actually came out this year. The parrot attaches really well. Got a bit of chest hair. You got your classic sort of sailor tattoos. He's a bit of a sailor stereotype, but he does make me laugh in the cartoon. So Shipwreck takes number 2 for me.
I like how he's clearly a sailor stereotype, but they don't even apologise for it. They give him all of the like stereotype. Here's a bit of rope. Here's a parrot. Here's your hat. Here's your hook. Like they just lean into it, which is absolutely fine. And he's slowly creeping
live
up the list.
action Popeye.
Yeah, exactly. He started off at number 10 on Tom's list, and then Mark had him at number 3, I think, and now he's made it to number 2. He's creeping up the list. He's creeping up there. Back to Christopher Allen then. What's your number 2, my friend? Your runner-up?
My number 2 is Lowlight.
Oh, one we haven't seen today.
He's coming soon, I think.
Yeah, I just really love this figure. I just have it like that. Like he's sniping off cobras. It's a fun figure.
Is he the one that comes with the actual case that you can put the sniper in? Very nice. Is he like, he's not part of Night Force or anything like that? He's just like a mainline guy?
They made a Marauders version of him.
Okay.
But the only Marauders figure we got is Barbecue so far, so I don't know if they're going to continue with that subline or not.
Yeah, the Marauders are like the bluish, greenish sort of colour palette, isn't it? Yeah,
and he got a figure in that.
Yeah,
I think there was also a Night Force version that never got produced.
Oh, nice. So maybe we
can
can see that.
Yeah. It wouldn't be much different. I mean, he's already kind of...
He is pretty, No, I like that because that's one we haven't seen in anyone's list today, and I assume again, gents, it's because it's not in the UK.
Due on Pulse UK 18th of December.
Okay, I can have a quick look actually.
I think that's what I've got written
Star
down.
Action figures, and they seem to be a long time coming.
There's a lot of people have had him imported for months.
Let's have a quick look. Yeah, oh wait, that's the wrong button.
Yeah, because my list has like been all Dreadnoks that have actually made it here, but they haven't made it here this year yet.
Hang on, let me have a look. I can find it. I can have a...
Go whole shebang. If anyone wants them early in the UK, whole shebang's getting loads in.
Yeah, the import way seems to be the quick way. Yeah, Low Light in the UK, by the way, I was trying to find it there, is due on the 29th of January now. They've pushed it back even further.
Oh, pushed it back.
Yeah, pushed it back. 29th of January 2024. So maybe he will be in our 2024 lists, but Christopher Allen took him in at number 2. Again, makes me excited. 2 figures he's shown so far that I don't have, so it still means the best is yet to come, possibly. We shall see. John, over to you. What is your number 2 for 2023?
All right. Well, I dug this out earlier just to give you an idea of how long I have wanted one of these.
Oh, okay.
This was a custom that I did like 10 years ago for the 4-inch scale line, but now, come on.
There it is.
That's the Steel Brigade figure that I've been wanting for a long time. I actually have her with a couple of Marvel Legends pistols just to set her apart from some of the other ones because I got 3 of the 2-packs.
You know, it's the magic of
Pretty Boys pistols, isn't it?
Yeah. So and honestly, like you talk about nostalgia, it was hard for that not to be number one on the list, just because I've wanted a woman in the Steel Brigade uniform as a figure for a very long time. So to finally have that is it, but just not quite the best figure. Maybe if she had the double elbows, but
yeah, I've got mine with the jetpack on a flight stand, just hovering above my Joes. I got two of those.
I'm gonna have a few on flight stands. I'm waiting on the HISS tank to get here so I can know exactly where to put my new shelves up. But I don't want to just go by measurements. I want to actually see it and visualize it, and
so
then mount shelves to the walls.
Yeah, it's so different. You have to get it. Have to get it. Very nice. Yeah, Steel Cup. They got a bit of love from Mark as well. They got on Mark's list at number 10. They would have probably made my list as well. Again, we don't get many Joe army builders, so it was nice to see the Joes get a couple of army builders in this team as well. And they obviously had to tweak the name because I think Action Force has the rights to Steel Brigade.
Always be Steel Brigade to me.
Yeah. All good. Right, let's go to Craig. Craig, you're number 2.
My number 2 is another new one. I think a few of these new ones of this new wave have just kind of blown it out the water, and it's Agent Helix. It was one I didn't even intend on getting. I didn't know who she was.
That's exactly what Tom said. Exactly.
She's off the video game that I've never ever played, but I'm like Tom. I have a bit of a weakness for like people with double pistols, and the samurai swords kind of sold me as well. The yellow samurai swords. But look at that face sculpt, and she pops on the shelf. She just pops. Like I have her next to Snake Eyes, the commando one with Snake Eyes and Timber. I have her stood next to him on the shelf, and she just looks great. And like I say, those quirky little swords off her wrists. It's just like it's practical and not practical at the same time.
It's definitely not practical.
Yeah, she looks
can't scratch her nose anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but the fact that they fall back and everything as well, and I suppose she could scratch her nose with something.
Another one that's creaked up the list as we go through people here. Both Tom and Mark had that on their list, and it's now your number 2. A very nice choice. Again, another modern Joe character that's made it to their line recently. Let's get into it then. Number 1. So we go back up to Jay. Jay, this is it, my friend. What is your number 1 G.I Joe classified of 2023?
All right then, here we go. The moment of anticipation. Just going to throw in a quick Rich M special. We'll call this. This is not a G.I Joe classified figure, but she needs a mention. It's the Super 7 reaction Nurse Baroness. Now that is the figure of the year. So you have to have an honourable mention. We need that in classified, don't we? So
absolutely,
that needed she needed a quick mention. But my number 1 classified is a figure that basically, to me, is not a G.I. Joe. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Jason Voorhees. Of course, this is the Range Viper. Look at the brains on that thing. It's absolutely nuts. It's the most outrageous G.I. Joe design I think I've ever seen, and I think it's utterly fantastic. I've kitted him up with a bit of a blast effect from that ridiculously cheap 3-pack of Vipers I think we got from Star Action Figures in the sale.
It's important. It's in Ross in America right now too.
So he's just shooting off. He's out there on the range. He's got his fancy little helmet on, but that's just the best design I think I've seen for a toy in a long time.
What's
so Range Viper.
What have you got him on?
He's on a reverse wrestling figure stand because he's had to come off the top shelf at the back. So got to make sure they're secure up there. So I've had to do a bit of digging to get him down. But he is fantastic.
Very nice. Yeah, he was on Tom's list as well, quite high. And now he's made your number 1 spot. He would absolutely have been on my list as well. I really, really like that guy. I'm hoping to see him in different colours. There is one in the HISS tank fire squad set, right?
The red one, isn't there? Yeah, we saw it MCM.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. What's that, Tom?
The HISS tanks fire squad, does it come out with it?
No, it was meant to come out the 1st of December, but it's got delayed, and I will have a quick look.
Delayed till the 15th of Jan, I think, or something like that. But yeah, they were due the 1st.
HISS tank fire squad. Have a quick look. Sorry, the camera will mess up for a second, but you can see. So what's the date on that then? Let me scroll down a minute. It's 15th of January. 15th of January.
Spot on.
But yes, there is a Viper there.
I was gutted that was delayed because how good would that look now?
I wasn't because I didn't have £100 there and then, but I would. That sometimes happens. Sometimes the delay isn't too bad for the wallet for sure. But I definitely will get a set now. I've got the Hiss tank. It just confirms to me that I need to get one of those to complement the other figures. Don't show
God
that
damn it.
Sorry, John.
Come on.
You'll be fine, John. He's broke it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. To be fair,
don't bloody mention that, Jay.
Yeah. To be fair, we'll message you after, John, but he genuinely did break it. We're not even joking. He
Oh wow.
I didn't break it.
Well,
It just broke.
Yeah, we know. We'll message John. Right, let's go to Christopher Allen. Christopher Allen, my friend. You're number one. You had 2 figures so far that we don't have in the UK. You're teasing me. Please show me a figure that I have.
You have this figure.
Okay.
But my favorite figure of the year is Chuckles.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
I just really like Chuckles. I know G.I Joe's like my favorite IP, but I'm more into like the spy element of it. I like Cobra, and then
espionage.
I'm not really a military guy, but I do like G.I Joe. But so Chuckles. The only thing that they could have done better is like maybe give him better because he never has like boots exposed like that in any incarnation that I can think of Chuckles. So if he didn't have the boot showing and maybe not a pin right there. But it's still great, and I love it, and it comes with a lot of stuff that makes it really fun to pose. A lot of options.
What's your favorite way to display him? Like, how have you got him displayed right now? Do you have the beaten up head or?
Right now I got the non-beaten up head, but once Big Boa comes, he's gonna have the beaten up head.
I like where you're going. That makes sense. Yeah, very nice. He's this year's sort of exclusive. It was like a PulseCon, wasn't it, or San Diego Comic-Con type vibe exclusive. So he came in that sort of extra packaging with that Baroness, and it sort of connects to the Baroness and twins.
Yeah, the briefcase.
Yeah, is that out in the US yet? Because that's not out for us in the UK.
Yeah, I haven't opened mine yet.
Oh, nice.
I probably should because people are complaining that the Baroness has like a derpy head.
Uh-oh.
One of the Baroness heads. I don't know, but I haven't opened mine yet. I don't know if I'm gonna open it because I already have all those figures.
What happens if you open it and it's actually a selfie series head of some stranger again? Just back
maybe it'd be my selfie series.
Finally, maybe.
There you go, Chris. Found it.
And a Baroness body. Oh, impressive. I like it. Right, very nice. Chuckles is a great choice for number one. Absolutely. No one's going to argue with that. Let's go across to John then. Compulsive Collector, my friend. What is your number one classified?
Yeah, number one.
What beat out nostalgia?
I mean, it's still nostalgic because it's Dreadnought.
There he is. That's three of yous. Three of yous in the top three.
And as I was saying on Legends and Liquor, I've always liked Buzzer more. Buzzer got a lot more development as a character in the comics, but they just put extra love into the design and just all the detail on this figure. This is just easily my favorite figure of the year.
Yeah, very nice. Again, he's on Kapow Toys in the UK right now, but for the premium import sort of price.
Right.
Yeah.
But use three of you showing them off in your top three makes me not want to wait. I was in my head, I'm thinking, I'll get Buzzer and Ripper together, but I'll get Buzzer eventually. I'm sure I will. But he looks great. All three of you showing them off. Very, very, very nice. Okay, worthy number one then, and a brand new figure as well. Over to you then, Craig. What is your number one G.I Joe classified of 2023?
As you know, I'm quite deep in this line, but there has been one figure that I didn't expect to like it as much. So this one caught me by surprise when I opened it and I geared him up and I had him battling his enemies, and it's Snowjob.
Okay. So another number
and
one.
I've got
You're copying on everything.
Yeah, you copied just a Tom copy.
I didn't honestly, Tom. I've had my list for 3 weeks here. Yeah, all right, Tom. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Snowjob. Just he was I was more happy about getting Scrap Iron, but then I seen Snowjob and I was like, it's not one of them characters that I'm well known with. But then once I brought him and opened him, I was just like, just wow. Just like the guns, the rifles, and then obviously the Arctic bats that go along with him as well. Just look great. I don't have the Snow Serpent, if anyone asks, as of yet.
Do you have the Snow Serpent?
No, I don't have.
Okay, just checking.
Funny, ain't ya?
I'll try.
But yeah, yeah.
No, very
So,
nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
just great.
That's so out of everyone's lists, Snowjob was a character that made 2 people's top 10, but Ripper was up there as well. For you,
It
guys.
would have been Chuckles if we got him last month, like we was meant to. But
Have you not got Chuckles yet?
No, mine's on Pulse, so
okay.
hopefully
He's
I'll
too
get
busy
my
telling Mark
delivery
to buy it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I didn't have the money at the time. I was like, Mark, if you miss out on this figure, mate, you got to get it.
Well, you'll get charged for Chuckles tonight, I think, on Pulse, and that'll be a way to go. So while we've got some guests here then, and we've been talking about the reveals, obviously I don't want to just end it there. Let's have a quick ask you guys what some of your favourite reveals were from yesterday's live stream. Of course, they were all characters we knew we were getting. There was no surprises as such, but it is always nice to see the official pictures, to see what we're getting, the accessories, how they look. So I'm curious, Jay, what was your favourite G.I Joe reveals from yesterday?
It was a very expensive afternoon, wasn't it? Put it that way. So I think if I just a couple would be Big Boa and Scarlet if I had to pick 2, but then Duke was great as well. So that's almost 3 that are absolute must-haves, I would say, out of that list. But it was a really good stream actually. So quite impressed.
Hang on, I'm trying to find the images up. I've got them somewhere. Do you have a favourite, like a particular favourite?
I think Scarlet would have to be the favourite because that classic look again is so like the cartoon. So the Duke and Scarlet have already been pulled out of the collection. They've been in the sale pile for a good couple of months now.
They're already gone.
They are completely out and gone. So yes, she just looks fantastic, doesn't she? So as soon as we saw Glenda, we knew Scarlet would be coming. So there she is, and she does look really good.
Yeah, no one's going to argue with that. What about you, Christopher? What were your favourite reveals from yesterday? Which ones you planning on getting?
I ordered them all.
All of them. All of them. No, me too, mate. I'm there with you. It's so good.
So Scarlet was exciting, I guess, because I think that was my favorite. I mean, not my favorite. My first character I ever bought as a kid. I think it was Scarlet. I remember being in a store.
Oh, you serial killer.
I was going to say he's a serial killer now.
Buying female action figures off the shelf at retail.
Oh.
You serial killer.
Yeah. Well, I remember my brother was getting Major Blood, and I wanted it too, but he's talked me into getting Scarlet instead.
Was he an older brother?
Yeah, 7 years older.
Older brothers do. That's sneaky.
Yeah, he manipulated me. He's like, she has throwing stars. And I remember opening it, and I'm like, they don't. Where's these throwing stars? He's like, oh, they're painted on. I'm like, oh, you gotta trick me.
Yeah. Anyway, do that. I was the type to give my little brother the remote control and go, yeah, you're playing with me. That's you. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sneaky.
Yeah. So Scarlet was cool. Quick Kick got me really excited, but the retro figures, I just like how they're packing in extra hands and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Duke, I don't know, and those are my 3, I guess. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Big Boa.
Yeah, very nice. The extra hands are definitely a nice touch. That's something that Classified were lacking in the early days, but they seem to be making that right now with the interchangeable hands and stuff. But yeah, Big Bo is an absolute fan favourite for sure. Do you mind the interchangeable head being attached here that doesn't bother you or anything?
No, because in the there's an IDW comic called Cobra, which highlights Chuckles, he's the main protagonist in that. And in that, Big Boa doesn't have a mask on. He has a wired thing on his jaw, so it kind of looks like that to me. It's not an uncanny resemblance, but I think maybe that's where they got their inspiration for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Lenny and that would have been going through some of the source material, but yeah, very nice. Again, options are never a bad thing. John, my friend, what about you when it comes to the reveals? What stood out?
I mean, Quick Kick is cool. It's the last character from the Barovia arc in the comics that starts in G.I Joe number 61. So you get that whole group. That's very cool, and I love the figure. I love everything that they've done with it. My favorite reveal though was the name only reveal for Xandar.
The twin.
That finishes up. Yeah, that finishes up the family with one exception, who was my most wanted figure in G.I. Joe Classified, which is Zanya, Zartan's daughter. So now we've got the brother and the sister. And I am hoping that since they've done Kamakura, they're doing some Devil's Due stuff. So I'm hoping that Zanya will end up in the line at some point as well.
how old's Zatanna then to have a daughter that can get involved
well,
in this nonsense?
so like she's young, so you figure like when GI Joe starts, I mean it's like Batman. They're in their 30s, you know. They're just always in their 30s.
Yeah.
So he's got a daughter who's like 16 or 17.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say she looks quite younger, started with her pink hair and stuff, and now she's got a daughter. It's like she looks good for her age.
Well, no, it's not Zorana's daughter. It's Zartan's daughter.
Her brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's the auntie. She's the auntie.
Yeah. Zorana and Xandar are the aunt and uncle. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And there you go. So all we have is the name only reveal, obviously, but we know he's coming. Coming. Beautiful. Okay. And what about any of the other figures? Anything better than expected in regards to like the retro or the 60th anniversary stuff? Are you interested in the 60th anniversary stuff? Because it's obviously brand new. It's not really attached to any particular character, which is what you like. But are these stuff you still get?
I skipped the action soldier one. What am I going to do with like a desert themed camo type figure? There's no sand around me. But I did order the diver. The diver looks real cool. I like that a lot. I'm not super big into army builders on the Joe side outside of Steel Brigade, but this was just too cool to pass up, and I figured it was just somebody I could have with Torpedo.
Yeah.
The retro figures, I did order the Recondo. I had skipped the Tiger Force version because I knew they would do this eventually. Duke and Scarlet, I'm happy with the original classified figures. I love those designs. Don't need something that's and that's, you know, I go back and forth on that. Like, I really want them to do a proper 85 Snake Eyes who is not wearing a helmet, who's wearing a mask with a visor over it. I like the retro Storm Shadow. I like the more classic looking Firefly. And then there are other characters that I'm like, I don't really like the older design. I like the new classified style. So they absolutely cannot please me with that whatsoever, because it's very random.
Yeah. No, that's what makes everyone's preferences and collections. That's why it's like toy companies can never please everybody. They just can't, because there's always going to be pockets of people that like certain things. But
I don't even know what I want. So how could they, how could they get it right?
Yeah, exactly. It's that meme, isn't it, from The Notebook? What do you want? What do you want? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, very nice. It's surprising. We knew Recondo would get a re-release, but it's surprising for me to hear that you don't need the retro Scarlet and Duke, because I just thought like universally they would be beloved. But as you said, there's nothing, because you're right, there is nothing wrong with the other two. There's sort of more modern twist on them, I suppose. But
I've never really liked, especially the Scarlet design with the like onesie over the green
the one piece. It's like a
jumpsuit. It's weird. Yeah,
it is weird.
I really liked the design they did for Scarlet for the Renegades cartoon about 10 years ago was really good. But the first classified, that's my favorite design of Scarlet that Hasbro has ever done. So I'm happy with it. I don't, again, like the Steel Brigade, I would like the double jointed elbows, but that's the only change I would make to it.
Are your Scarlet and Duke that you have in your collection the redecoed ones from the first
wave? No, I like the colors on the original version. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that shit.
That's fair. Very nice. I've got both upstairs somewhere, so I don't hate them by any means, but that's the Scarlet and my mind's eye of Scarlet and Duke for sure.
And then
go on.
My roadblock is the redecoed one. I just like that one a little bit more without the gold. I don't know why, but again, they can't predict what I'm going to want.
No pleasing, John.
Don't even try.
No pleasing, John. It's all good. What about you, Craig? What was some of your favourite reveals from yesterday?
Just before I start talking about retro, how good is this guy? He's
open it.
amazing.
There you are. Put your full screen.
I am not opening mine.
You're live on YouTube. Let's get him open.
You've got two, Dan. Why don't you open one on live stream?
If you open
I'll give you $10 to open it right now.
There you go. Let's go.
No, he's going on like, I've got a little strip of wall at the side of the G.I Joe display, so I'm gonna get carded figures along there.
You coward. Okay.
But
I'm gonna open my one.
Oh, you're a brave man. See, Christopher Allen, make sure you do it live on a stream. Save it until Legend of Liquor. And do it in front of everybody. All right. Good man.
No, don't. You'll probably get a re-release.
Hopefully, the next Legend of Liquor is the 17th, isn't it? So you got a week for the Hiss Tank to arrive.
Mine was supposed to come today, but they did. Were your turtle van?
Yeah.
They did the whole like fake knock, but they didn't knock. Right?
Bullshit. I hate when they do that.
That's what happened to me today.
Hate when
hopefully they're more motivated tomorrow and they really do make the attempt to
We
bring
attempted to deliver your parcel. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't even
Yeah.
try. Didn't even try. Stupid
exactly
person.
what happened to me.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to reveals.
Sorry, Craig. Carry on.
That's all right. My wallet took a massive hit. So yeah, 415 I think in total I spent. Yeah.
Multiples. You must be getting multiples.
Yeah. Basically, I did a split order on some of them because it's easier to get rid of them if I don't need them. But yeah, I was in on all of them. I got two a Duke and two a Scarlet. I have 2 divers coming and 2 soldiers coming. I did want 3 soldiers, but for some reason it wouldn't let me select 3. I wanted 3 soldiers and 1 diver, so I think it might be a 2 limit on them too. Maybe. But yeah, I've got every single one of them. My favourite reveals was it's got to be the Scarlet. Like, she's gorgeous. Like, really good. Quick Kicks up there as well. That Techno Viper, I've got 2 of him coming as well because I wanted the purple tactician in the hiss.
Yeah.
So when they announced this purple guy, I was like, yeah, he's definitely having 2 on the shelf. To be fair, I liked the other look, but I didn't like the baby pink. I think it would have looked sicker if it was white. But yet again, he still looks good. Airborne, just great figure again. Rakondo, I have got him on a second order with my second Duke and second Scarlet. I might get rid of him because he's not one that I'm desperate for because I have got him on the shelf and I do prefer the Tiger Force look because I like the trousers. They stand out a bit more. Big Boa, I went in the ring with him last weekend.
That's true.
Yeah, great guy. His helmet's so good. Yeah, them teeth missing, that was me. But yeah, that's another great figure. Just all great all round, really. Like, it's Joe's, isn't it? They're getting better and better, to be fair. So hopefully we're not going to get loads of gummy weapons and gummy accessories, though.
As I said, that's the final hurdle, I think.
Especially with them 60ths, like, they're packed out with everything. I was like, but the guns, are they going to be? I can only
speak for myself on the hiss tank, but the weapons, apart from maybe the spade and the sort of bludgeonger weapon that the gunner comes with, I just did my review. I've just filmed a review for the 3 individual figures that I'll put up at some point tonight, and I did mention that the weapons don't feel soft and flimsy or rubbery. Like, any of you guys actually opened the hiss tank, checked out the weapons?
Yeah,
mine was straight.
What are you saying, Tom?
You hit this one.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hardish at this end, but it still bends, and then that end is like bendy as anything. Yeah. Whereas if I took, I don't know if we've got any time there.
Who can't find the figures now on the shelf?
Stuff as the Valibus. Sorry. And then they don't bend at all.
Yeah. Bobby's always talks about using different plastics, essentially, isn't it?
My spade was literally like that. Like, there wasn't. I had to heat it and bend it.
Yeah, my spade, to be fair, was a bit bent. I was just curious. That was all. I was just curious. But that's the last little hurdle I think Joe's need to get over, and then there'll be. You know what people are like. People always
we have some great weapons. Like Snowjob's weapons were brilliant, perfect. And then you got someone like Rock and Roller, and his big gun is just like floppy. And like Tunnel Rat, everyone's been saying his weapons all floppy and
too big for Tunnel Rat.
Yeah, obviously.
The thing is, I'm sure if you go back like a year ago, I don't think there wasn't this issue with the weapons. It's like a factory change or something.
Maybe, yeah. The thing is, it's just human nature, isn't it? You know what the community are like at the minute. They're always clinging to like what's the next thing to moan about type thing. So as soon as they fix their weapons, they'll be moaning the feet are too big or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just they're like John. You can't. The community is like John. You can't please him. There's nothing they can do.
It's not the feet that are too big, it's the cheeks.
The cheeks, yeah, you're right, yeah. The cheeks are too big.
Tom and his cheeks,
plastic packaging might help with that, though. It might help set the weapons in the plastic packaging because they've all been gummy in the loose when they've just
true.
been in a baggie.
Yeah.
So maybe if they're
Yeah.
actually in a mold, they might set better.
That's
I'm
true.
hoping
with,
at least.
With transport as well, obviously the temperature changes
Yeah.
when they're transported, so maybe it is them just being loose in a bag. Just they get a bit. Maybe we will find out in 2024. But good stuff coming, as we know, as we've just spoke about. But so John, you were telling me before the stream, you have very graciously got a giveaway for today, right?
Got a Tiger Force bazooka right here.
Very nice. And you've said you're willing to ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a good
Anyone
man.
in the US, the UK, or Canada. The EU, there's a lot of restrictions. Same with Mexico, and like Australia just would cost like
Australia,
$40. It's not worth the figure.
If you're in Australia and Europe, get out of here. No, I'm only joking. To be fair, I think you'll be fine. I think our audience is
I think that'll
pretty
cover
centralised.
most of your audience.
No, we're good. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. So basically, we're doing a giveaway, and it's the last Joes+Juice of the year. We'll do it in proper traditional Dan Who style, and we'll bloody race some ducks. All right, we'll race some ducks. All right, the Joes would approve of this. So if you want to be a part of this, you don't have to be. It is the Tiger Force version of Bazooka, right? We're giving away.
Yes.
Yes, yep. Tiger Force Bazooka, given away courtesy of Mr. Compulsive Collector. So if you would like to be part of the race to win this, I'm going to put a comment in the chat right now. And even if there's only a few people, that's absolutely fine. It makes it a more intense race. Comment. Oops, what am I pressing? Comment.
It's this guy, isn't it?
Yeah,
correct.
It's that one.
That's
it's
the
a good
one.
figure.
Yep.
It's a solid figure. Comment and.
Really good. I haven't got the other bazooka yet, but I'm thinking of backtracking because obviously we're getting all these retros now. I think I'm going to have a retro shelf.
Tom has had a bazooka in both his 2022 list and his 2023 list. That's how good bazooka can be. Right, who wants in the race? Comment.
And that's the scrap iron effect, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
Comment underneath my live comment right now. Let me just jump to my solo screen for a second, just so I can show you. Where's my chat box?
A backpack with no straps.
I can't find it. Never mind. I can see it on my end. I can see the chat on my end. Right, okay. Comment on the chat right now. And if you want to be part of the race, I'm going to take some names. Okay, so Eddie Rodriguez, you are in. You are in. All right, let me make this list. Does anyone in the stream want to be in this? Or have we all got bazooka? Are we all good?
I've got bazooka.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I've got bazooka.
I mean,
save you with that international shipping.
If you want to try to win it so you can customize it, I know you do custom.
There you go. Does anyone in the stream want to be in? I'll write your name down. Are we good? We got to be generous and give it to the chat?
Yeah.
All good. Not a problem. Not a problem. There you go, chat. It's your lucky day. Right. So Eddie's in. Curtis is in. Greg Finstad is in. We have... Christopher Allen's missus wants in. She wants the bazooka. Christy's in. We've got Caleb. We've got...
Tell her if it was mine, I would have signed it for her.
Christopher, does she actually want the G.I Joe, or does she just like racing ducks?
She just likes racing ducks.
Fair,
we could give it to second place if she finishes first.
Displayed wants is in. Ken Best is in. Tanner wants in. Tanner's not a Joe guy, you see, so maybe this will enable him to actually get some Joes, if that's the case.
That would be excellent.
Mark Rose, you are in. Okay.
Double A.
So far we've got Eddie, Curtis, Christy, Caleb, Displayed Once, Ken, Super Turk, and Mark Rose. Is anyone else watching live? Double A wants to be in. Double A, you are in.
Did you get topless?
I have not. Is he in? It's a bit
He said nipples, so I'm guessing so. Yeah.
Jarhead said secret stream ? No secret stream. We promoted this yesterday. It was a bit spontaneous, like with the Joe stream, but no, we're here. We're all good. This ain't secret. This is for everybody to see. Right, so we got 55 people watching us live on YouTube on a Friday night. Is anyone else want in? We're about to race some ducks. If you're not familiar with Legend of the Liquor, you probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about. But, you're about to miss out if you don't. You'll be jealous you didn't get involved if that's not the case. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9. Can we get one more? One more to make it 10? Do we have one more contestant?
Did you get Profit? Profit said quack. I'm guessing he wants.
Okay, Profit is in. Profit 924.
And you got Topless Scoob, right?
Topless Scoob. I will put Scoob in as well.
I did tell you that one. So.
And Slade Poe is just subscribed. Thank you very much, Slade Poe. If you're watching live, but you might not even be watching the stream. If you are, get involved in the dog race in the comments. Jellyfigs is in as well. There you go, Jellyfigs. And I'll put Topless Scroob in as well. Jellyfigs is in. And Topless Kid Quack says J Kid, you're in. He Quack with a question mark means he has no clue what's about to happen.
Can we race canoes instead of ducks?
I wish. Ducks in canoes would be even better, wouldn't it? Tanner's saying, can he have race points instead of a duck? Can I get a duck race points instead of no?
It's not that type of race, Tanner, unfortunately.
Prophet's being kind. He says he's watching with excitement. He already has Bazooka, so he's being kind. He's stepping out, but it's fine. I've got some names now. It's good. We got about 10 or 11. That's absolutely fine. That's plenty for a duck race. All right. So I'm about to set this up live on YouTube. Here we go. Duck race. How long should we go for, John? Should we go for a 2-minute race or 20-minute race? Hour race?
Please don't do a 20-minute race. I haven't had dinner yet. Let's do 2 minutes.
No, it's fine. It's 20 to 12 for us in the UK as well, so it's late. So yeah, we'll do a 2-minute race just to make it interesting, and then we'll get out of here. All right. So last chance. Does anyone want to be in this race? We got J Kid, Jellyfigs, Double A, Mark Rose, Super Turk, Ken, Displayed Once, Caleb, Christy, Curtis, and Eddie. There's Eric, Alfred, Abel. Oh, Cheeky Monkey wants to be in. Is Cheeky Monkey a G.I Joe fan, Jay?
Would be at first. She's in bed, so she decided she wants to win a G.I Joe figure by the sound of it. So
right, she's in. Ken says, I don't really need bazooka. I'm just a degenerate gambler. Wow, you could be in for a double bazooka then if that's the case. That's absolutely fine. Right, right. I think that is your lot. Should we throw Greg Finstad in? All right, Greg Finstad, you're in, I think, and you're good. All right then, let's do this. We've got 14. 2-minute race. I can go. There we go. I can make that bigger as well. Don't you worry. I'll make it as big as I can. Let's do this. Let's drag that out. There we go. All right, let me just make the Joe logo a little bit smaller. We don't want to miss all the action. There we go. Let's make that smaller. There we go. Let's put that up there. Here we go. Right, let's do this. How many times shall I shuffle, John?
0. Just go.
Get rid of the chat on screen so we can see what's going on. So an early lead by Christy there. She's got the top hat on. Double A side by side. But Mark Rose and Caleb are also staying strong with the pack. At the back, I can see Mangled Lovers, which is Curtis, I think. We got Eddie, Eric, Alfred, Abel, Super Turks up top. Super Turk, you're the pink duck. Greg Finstad and Jellyfigs both know how to win duck races. They are both in the pack as well. Greg's right at the top. Here's the Statue of Liberty duck. And Jellyfigs has the green Mohican. Cheeky Monkey Kiara is the purple duck down at the bottom. Ken Best has this sort of space helmet on. Like the Evil Knievel duck, if you will. Curtis is now creeped all the way up to the top with the red spotty duck. Eric Alfred Abel is the purple duck. Mark Rose is the dinosaur duck. A minute in, and there's a little bit of movement here. A-Kid is the reindeer duck. J-Kid, sorry. Very festive and on theme for the December feeling. Ken says, gave him a lazy duck. Look, he's conserving his energy, Ken. Have you not seen a duck race before? You'll be fine. You'll be fine, right? He's got his helmet on. He's ready to go, but he's picking up the pace now. Probably picking up the pace a little bit too early, Ken. See, you spoke too soon, didn't you, Ken? You spoke too soon. Right, Kirsty Reed's still staying strong in the middle of the pack with the top hat on. Looking very classy, I must admit, Christopher. Mrs. is very classy. Eric Alfred Abel, purple duck, up top with Tanner, going neck to neck with the purple and pink duck. Cheeky Monkey Kiara, right, this is 18 seconds now. Anything can happen. Caleb says, I'm a damn unicorn, need some magic. Look, it might happen. 10 seconds left. Someone can make a late splurt. And has that unicorn magic kicked in, Caleb? I think it did. I think you called it, my friend. We got Greg Finstad up top. It's neck and neck with Greg Finstad and Caleb down at the bottom. Eric Alfred Abel. Oh, it's Caleb. You spoke perfectly in time, Caleb. You said you needed that unicorn magic and it kicked in right at the end. Congratulations, my friend. You have just won yourself a bazooka, a Tiger Force bazooka, which is a great figure in the G.I Joe classified line. My glamorous assistant over here is showing it off. Thank you very much, Craig. A magical win for Caleb. Congrats from the chat. Caleb, whereabouts are you from? You're US based, right? Remind us where you're from, so we don't give John a heart attack. You're Australia, right? Like the furthest part south.
New Zealand.
Like just the furthest possible distance you could be. North Pole. What's that? South Pole? Your postman's a penguin, is that? Is that what you said? He's in Tennessee. He's in Tennessee.
Caleb isn't far from me. Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, but your handle used to be Knight of Ren, right?
I think it did. Yeah, I think it did. He's in Tennessee.
I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Yeah, he's in Tennessee. So that's not far from you, right?
No, it's like one state over.
There you go. You're good then. John will personally deliver it. Great stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat dinner and then I'm gonna get right in the car.
Get ready. Put the kettle on. John's coming around after dinner for dessert. Dessert at Caleb's house. Yeah. Yes, and he confirms he is the same person. It is Night of Ren.
Caleb, if you can just put like your Instagram name in the chat, then I will message you later after I have had a meal.
There you go. Or just hit up John later this evening. I'm sure John won't mind. Compulsive collector. It's no secret. You don't mind that, do you, John? There you go.
No, not at all.
There you go. Compulsive collector. Topless Group says he was robbed. To be fair, none of the ducks were naked. If they were naked, you would have definitely won. You would have definitely won. Greg Finstad, midnight delivery. Yeah, midnight delivery from John. Thank you very much to everyone, and thank you very much to all my guests. Firstly, to our extra bonus guest who jumped on at the end of the stream for the cameo. But again, a fun conversation as well. What's great about the classified line is that it's in the trenches now. Like it's getting deep, and no one's person's list was the same, which just shows how diverse it can be. Like there's so much good stuff out there at the minute. So Jay, where can the people find you online?
You can find me online at Jay's Toy Collection UK here on YouTube. I will be live tomorrow night, 8 PM UK, going through the last 2 weeks of toy news, all the Joes in detail. I've upgraded StreamYard, so I've got graphics and everything now, potentially.
Exciting time. So there you go. Watch Jay's live stream tomorrow, recapping a couple of weeks worth of toy news, which is always fun. Christopher Allen, my friend, is Christy disappointed that she didn't win Bazooka?
I don't think so. She's like in a meeting at work. She's not supposed to.
What's she doing in a duck race? Yeah. We caught her skiving. Catch it, tell her when she finishes.
It's like a sixth sense. She heard the duck race, and that was it. A bow went off.
Well, where can we find you online, Christopher?
Nothing to promote, but thank you for having us. This was fun.
It's always a pleasure, Christopher. You're always welcome. And John, thank you once again for the little bonus giveaway there. For very festive spirit as well this time of year. Where can the people find you online?
Compulsive Collector, Instagram, TikTok. On both, but I'm very.
To be fair, John's the only person that found me on TikTok. I realised I had one follower, and it was John. So John found me.
As soon as you mentioned it, I was like, I'm going to go find Dan.
Yeah, he found me. I've never told anyone my handle, but to be honest, it's not hard to figure it out.
It was not terribly difficult.
Yeah, it's not hard to figure out, but I am on TikTok. Basically, Amanda, right? This is what genuinely right. Amanda kept sending. Do you know like the spouse thing where she constantly sends me links to videos and stuff, and I never had TikTok, so I'd click the link and it would take me to a web page, ask me to log in, and I'd be like, man, stop sending me these fucking. So eventually I went, fuck it, I'll make an account. And because I'd just done that Pudgy Penguins video for my niece and nephew, I was like, that's very TikTok style. I'll put it on TikTok. So I now have a TikTok, people.
Perfect love story there.
There you go. Craig, last but not least, where can they find you before I go to my co-hosts?
Yeah, you can all find me on Instagram at craigs.nostalgic.collection. I've been posting a lot of Joe's stuff, obviously, about the new reveals and the tank. Hopefully just get a few more up over Christmas of all these new incoming Joes, especially Mutt and Junkyard.
And I've got faith that round 2 between you and Big Boa will go a different way. I reckon my money's on you next round, all right? Next round, my money's on you. And let's go to my co-hosts, of course. Forever a present on Joes+Juice. On the front line, I am always just a man in the chair. Of course, we'll be continuing. Again, we can officially confirm Joes+Juice will continue in 2024. Congratulations. Wow done. We got renewed.
Next December, yeah.
We got renewed. We got the green light. Season 2 for 2024. We will be back. Of course we will. As long as there's Joes to talk about, we will absolutely. Tom, where can the good people find you online?
You can find me at Mini Plastic Multiverse on Instagram. And with the Christmas holidays coming up, I might actually play some photos.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
I got money in the bank.
Topless Scoob is back with a last minute super chat. I'll let Friday
Topless
read that.
Scoob 5150 donated $5. Pop your tops.
Pop your tops. That's a way to end the year. Everyone get their tops off. Look, Scooby tries, bless him. He drops super chats. I appreciate you, Scoob. But unfortunately, they're monetized. We'd get demonetized.
Can you have Nurse Baroness? Have Nurse Baroness again. That's the best we can do.
If you DM Craig on Craig's Nostalgic Collection on Instagram, he will send you some topless pictures free of charge, all right?
I'll send you to my OnlyFans where I like it rough.
Can you not tell if you couldn't tell? Right, Tom, can we make it a commitment right now that you and me will never retire from Joes+Juice until we get a canoe?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're never leaving.
We're never going. Joes+Juice will continue.
Even if the classified line gets cancelled.
Even if it ends, we will come and just talk about the potential of a canoe on the comeback line and how we would do it. We'll make it happen. Mark, my friend, he's changed location about 3 times, but he's still incognito. They haven't caught him. Where can they find you? Where can we find you online, Mark? You're on mute, Mark. You're on mute. I know you're still on secret mission. You're on mute, Mark. You're still trying to go undetected in silence. I completely understand. Oh, now he's sideways. How did he do that? Oh, now he's back again. Oh, this is a man of many talents. Oh, there he is.
Here I am, guys. Yeah, I'm all over the place. So you can find me on Tac Tac Torture Film on YouTube, and of course on Joes+Juice here with Dan, where technology is not my friend.
It's fine. It's fine.
What's that Bruce Lee sound again, Mark?
Yeah, Dan Who Canoe says Greg Finstad. Look, right,
word of the day.
If G.I Joe Classified do not give us a canoe, right? Me and Tom, we're quite creative people. We get a 3D printer. We sculpt one. We print our own, right? We brand our own canoes. Canoes for everybody, but not yet. We're going to give Classified a chance.
I'll make you one out of cardboard, Dan.
2024, we may have to figure. If they don't give us one in 2024, 2025 may be the year we buy a 3D printer, Tom. All right, we're just putting it out there. We'll make it happen eventually. Right, we're getting out of here. Everybody, give them a wave. Thank you very much. I do have an end screen on Joes+Juice, so I'm going to jump to that. We will see you in 2024. But remember, there is a Legend of Liquor. One more Legend of Liquor before the year is out, the 17th of December. Hopefully, we'll see you then. But until then, we'll catch you on the next one. All right? Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Anyone got a word of a day? Canoe. It seems good luck spelling that. But if you're in the chat, if you're in the chat, jump in the comments. The algorithm loves it, but we appreciate you. Go and watch one of these other videos on screen. That one's great. That other one's okay, but that one, yeah, that one you're looking at, that's the one. Click it. See you on the next one. Bye bye. Nice one.